Oh, we started. It's recording. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. Well, this is episode 6, I believe. I don't know what I'm doing. This was a very spontaneous episode. I made a new buddy here. Me and him became friends during working HEB shift. His name is Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew, please tell me.
I'm Andrew. I work with this guy overnight at HEB. It's fun and exciting and super cool. It's actually not. But yeah, it's a good time.
You're right. It is not.
Yeah, it kind of blows, you know?
All right, so today we wanted to talk about friends because I feel personally that I have learned a lot about the value of friends and just what friendships mean to me, just like that whole overall relationship. Because one, it can go downhill very quickly and then you have no friends. Or two, you can have a really good friend that lasts a billion years and then you basically are like a pack of wolves that could just conquer anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to build.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've gone through several groups of friends in life, you know? You meet people, you hang out with them, and then something might happen, or maybe you move, or there's an event, and then either your friendship lasts through that, or it doesn't, and it falls apart. So that's a good point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, there's those friendships that come and go, like the ones in high school, for example. Like we all had those high school friends, those middle school friends, elementary friends. We could barely maybe remember those elementary school friends. I think I was barely conscious around that time. but yeah, it's like you grow apart from all those people, not because it's like you want to, but it's mostly just because that's kind of what life has to offer for itself. Is as you grow up, you just learn to grow up, basically.
Yeah, I think some of it might be too, like, you learn about yourself and what you like. So, because when you're a little kid, like, you kind of just, at least in my experience, like, I was a little kid, I just kind of did a lot of the stuff my parents wanted me to do. Like, I played baseball. Like, now I don't play baseball. I can still throw a baseball and probably hit a baseball, but I don't have a passion for baseball. When I was a kid, my dad had me playing baseball every summer. Or like sports was like a big thing. And, now I keep up with sports, but I don't really care too much about sports. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when I was a little kid, that's what I liked. And so obviously I had friends that played Little League with and all that good stuff. But then as I got older, I got into, I found out more about myself. And once I got into middle school, I was into music and I learned playing instruments. And that's kind of like, what I did. So then the friends that I had that were into sports, like, we had different hobbies. And so then you kind of go into a new friend group and you hang out with people that have other interests that you're interested in. And we're always changing, so it's like, as time goes on, maybe you fall out of liking music. I mean, everybody likes music, but maybe you fall out of playing an instrument or whatever, and you find a new hobby, and then you kind of find new friends based off that. I mean, you find friends anywhere, But for me, at least, like when I was in elementary school, I had like a little group of friends when I was in like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. But this might be different than your experience, but like I changed schools. So my family moved to a town. I was born in Houston, and then my family moved to a town outside of San Antonio called New Braunfels. And I started going to like 6th grade and middle school there. So like basically, that's why I lost my friends, was because I was 3 hours away and I was a little kid, and obviously you're not driving a car when you're a little kid, so.
Yeah, so you can't really go places to hang out with your boys.
Yeah. And what's crazy is I don't really talk to those friends that I had from 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, but with social media now, I'm like friends with them on Facebook. So I can like see how their lives are going and stuff, and like they remember me. Like I've chatted with 1 or 2 of them like in the past, but yeah, it's crazy like how that, how we're all, I mean, you could talk about social media and how we're more or less connected now, but it's weird how you can like,
let's dive into that.
Yeah.
How social media has created a new dynamic for people, if that makes sense, like through our society.
Yeah, like a new type of friend, basically.
Yeah, like you make new friends on social media I mean, I guess it's also a great opportunity to reach out to people that you lost touch with, as I was saying, or even like making new friends on social media that you didn't even know was possible before. So it's like there are benefits, but then I think there's also like consequences. I've always like believed that there's consequences in social media, but that's a whole other topic.
Yeah, I mean, we can go into that. Like I agree 100%, and my opinion is that social media can connect you with people you don't know really well, but I feel like where it hurts you is the people you are close to, like, because either you're, like, in some cases you might spend a lot of time just scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or social media, or like, you know, like it can cause a rift because, you know, you post a picture and you don't tag somebody, you know, dumb things like you post a picture, you don't tag somebody, like it hurts your closer relationships. You might not post a picture with somebody, like if you're especially if you're like dating somebody, like you don't post them on your profile, you know, like it can hurt your close relationships,
causes a big issue. I didn't even think of that. That's a good point.
Yeah, but then I have friends that I've met through social media, and like that's weird too, because I've always, like, I'm pretty old school, like I'm a little bit older than Victor. I'm 32, and like I grew up in the generation where it was like don't meet strangers, you know, like don't meet people you meet online, like, you know, those are like weirdos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now everybody, like most relationships, I would say, are probably found on a dating app, and like a lot of people meet friends through like streaming, like playing video games. You might like play online with people and you meet them, and it's like, oh, I live here, and they live close to you somehow. Or like even me, like I went to a concert like a few weeks ago, and I met up there with a guy that I'm like a friend of mine that I met on Instagram, and like he owns like a foundation in Houston, like a company in Houston that I'm a big fan of, and then he does he's like in law enforcement, but he's a huge fan of like this band that I'm a huge fan of, and he like knows them and stuff, so like because of that I'm connected with him, and like I hung out with him, and I'd never met him in real life. I just talked to him on Instagram a bunch. So it's like you can meet people you never would have met otherwise. But yeah, I think when it comes to your close relationships, I feel like it can kind of do more harm than hurt. I mean, obviously it can go either way, but
yeah, that's interesting. I personally have never even thought about that. It affecting your like local friends, like your closer friends. I think I've always seen it as something that's like, I don't know, I don't like the fact that you like upload to like, I don't know, like set an impression of yourself for other people. I think there's that too. Yeah. That's definitely being carried in different aspects. That's like not only through friendships, but it's like you were saying, like it can affect relationships. It's like those people that are like posting something specifically to, I don't know, like make them look good in Hawaii.
Yeah.
But in reality, they were having the worst time ever. Their parents were yelling at them.
Yeah.
they hate everybody.
That's yeah. I mean, I've heard a bunch of people say, on social media, like, you know, it's like a highlight reel.
Yeah.
Like you're basically posting your highlight reel. So you could see somebody that looks like they have a great life, and really their life is, you know, dog shit.
Yeah, literally.
And it's like they could be struggling with everything in life, but you're only seeing what they post. And, you know, sure, there's those people that post everything they do, so you kind of see both sides of things. But like most people, like I would say normal people that only post on social media every so often, you're just kind of getting a glimpse. Like you're not really getting.
Yeah.
You know, and then.
But it also could like set up like a fake dynamic. You know what I mean? Where it's like.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, I have this type of impression on this person, or not even impression. Like this is the way I view this person because of their profile.
Yeah.
So it's like then you go up to meet them, and then just like they're just a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, yeah, they're like, they'll give you the impression that they're one way, and when you meet them in person, it's like that's not really who they are, kind of thing.
Yeah, but then it also goes with what your parents told you. Is like, don't meet people online.
Yeah, but like in the 90s and 2000s, that was more of like a.
This was all hypothetical, by the way.
Yeah, they don't want you meeting like, you know, like diddlers and stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like that was more
creeps.
their concern. Yeah, they were like, they don't want you to meet weirdos, and I guess that was more prevalent back then. But yeah, now it's because that's odd to me that everybody for the most part meets people online. Because like tying it back to the friends thing, like that's one thing I struggle with, like whether it's real friends or like relationships. Like I always prefer to meet people in person. Like,
Yeah.
but even still, like I said, I have experience where I've met people online and like they're cool people when I meet them in person. But it's just like if I had a preference, I would say like making friends in person, or like especially relationships. Like I don't really do online dating, which could, you know, could hinder me from like finding people. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. To me, it's more natural, I guess, or like it's just what I'm used to. Like, because even with like online dating, for instance, like same thing. You're uploading a highlight reel.
Yeah, literally.
Like you're picking your best pictures, and you're like, you know, you get given a prompt, like a question to answer, and you're like, you can think about it all day to answer it and come up with something witty, or find even something online that you didn't even come up with that's witty. And it's like, you don't really, when you meet somebody face to face, obviously you can still lie, duh, but you can read people's body language and their, you know, I feel like it's hard, it's easier to get a gauge of a person, you know, face to face than it is online, which I guess is kind of what you're saying. Like it ties into you don't really know who you're meeting, like, you know.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's also like it can kind of just create like just like a fake idea of each other, where it turns into just, it's like, yeah, bro, like honestly I wasn't really myself the whole time. Later.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's like you like, you can kind of use it as an experiment to like, I want to be this kind of person, and then you try, you get the attention of being that kind of person, and then it turns into like you couldn't stay that person, and then you're just completely somebody else, and now it's like, now it's confusing for everybody.
You're playing a character almost.
You're playing a character.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
It's
crazy. You're
it's
acting.
like you're practically, it's like how like Instagram and Facebook hold you, like you're just a little avatar. I saw this on that Netflix special, the social media one. I forget the title, but I'll pop it up on the screen when I find it. So basically, you're like, it explains social media, and the way it works is like it collects all your data, or not. It does collect all your data. It collects everything about you, and it basically knows everything you like, everything you don't like. So it's like you're basically doing that for yourself.
Yeah.
But on a fucking like Tinder or like something like that, you know what I mean? Or even on profiles, like you're like creating somebody that you don't even know who you, like, I don't know, it's like you're creating somebody that you have to hold a standard to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You like the algorithm feeds off of the things that you like see and like all that stuff. So regardless of what you put out there, right? Like for instance, if I'm on Instagram and I like a picture of something I'm not even interested in, golf or something, you know, like it's gonna feed me more of that.
Yeah.
And that's not really who I am. Like I don't care really that much about golf. Like, but it's collecting my data. It's seeing that I see that, and it's projecting that to me. So in a way, what you're saying is, even on like a personal level with like the dating apps and stuff, it's like if you put something out there that's not real, like it's gonna kick it back to you.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's like feeding you the thing that it thinks you want.
Yeah, and then now you have to hold that, like, now you have to hold it, like that idea of what the computer thinks you are and what other people think you are. You know what I mean? Where it's like, if you don't hold on to it, then you're somebody else. And now your whole algorithm changes, and now you're somebody else. And it has to recollect data from you. Yeah,
and it's creepy how that stuff works too. Like to think about like the fact that like it's just collecting data on you, and like just it's literally weird? Spoon feeding. It's kind of like drugs. Like it's like spoon feeding you things that it knows you like.
That's
like
exactly
dopamine
what it is.
Hits, bro.
That's exactly what it is.
Just feeding you dopamine hits, and that's where that's where I think it like hurts your close friendships. Like at least for me, like where social media like potentially hurts my life is like when I just like veg out and just get stuck looking at my phone, you know. Like
We all do that.
Yeah, like so, and I'll snap myself out of it, because like how many times, I mean, if you're watching this, has happened to you. It's happened to everybody. Like, how many times have you been around other people and like you're with? It can even be with your closest friends. It can be with people you don't know that well who you could get to know, like, and make friends with. It could be anywhere, and like you're just maybe you're all talking and stuff, and then you're like watching something on TV, and then it just goes quiet, and you're looking at your phone, and the next thing you know, you kind of snap yourself out of it, and you just look around, and everyone's just on their phone. Like has to have happened to everybody so many times.
I have had that
crazy.
happen to me. Just sitting in a room, and then you notice, you come back, and he's like, everyone's on their phone, dude.
Yeah, it happens. It happens with my family. Like I'll go see my parents.
Yeah.
Like it's got everybody hooked, man.
Too, bro.
I'll be with my dad, my mom, my little brother, who I only see like once or twice a year, and bro, like we'll be hanging out and having a great time, having conversations, and once the conversation dies down, it's like I'll look at my phone to check a text, and then
it's like
my parents will look at their phones, and then 30 minutes later, I look up and I'm like, oh my god, we're all just like.
Yeah, 30 minutes have gone by and we're all
addicted.
On our phone.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it happens there, like it's happened with like my,
I'm probably going to buy a flip phone. I think I've told you that.
Yeah.
I probably will. This is my only phone. I don't really want to advertise what phone it is because for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But
I've thought about that too, because like if I could, I just would want to find a phone where like my SIM card can fit in a flip phone, and then
I think you can. You just have to, I guess, research the phone.
Yeah, make sure it's like compatible or something.
Yeah, I have not researched any phones, so maybe I could be lying. Maybe I'm not going to switch.
I have some I have some old phones in my house. I could try it out and see if I find one that works. Do you have AT&T? I think I don't know if the SIM card varies based on the carrier, but I have AT&T. I don't know if that
maybe
matters.
I have Cricket, which is off of AT&T as well.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, you should, because like most old school phones, old flip phones and stuff, like you could just take the SIM card out and put it in a new phone, and it would have all your contacts and all your stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I've thought about doing that too, because there's some days it's fine. Like some days I'll pop it back in my smartphone. Like,
is it though?
Yeah. Well, like some days, like for instance, like I work 2 jobs, right? So like the days where I work doubles at both my jobs, like that would be okay for me to have a smartphone, because like where I really like will veg out is the days I'm off, and it's like I could be so productive in my personal life. Like I could work out and get things done and run errands and like take care of stuff I really need to take care of. But that's where that's where social media will get to me, is like if I just have a bunch of free time, I'll just veg out.
Yeah, so that's basically like why I want to. Yeah. I want to have like 2 phones practically. Yeah. Where it's like when I'm busy, I can whip out my smartphone, and then when I'm not busy, I'll just shut it off.
Yeah, but then
actually, vice versa. When I'm actually, I don't even know what I'm saying.
I think
I am busy,
smartphone.
I'll have smartphone.
Yeah.
When I'm not busy, I'll throw it in the lake.
Just get rid of it, buy a new one every week.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you had 2 phones, you'd have to have 2 numbers, I think. Unless you could get I don't know if you can get a SIM card.
I mean, if I shut it off, I can just move it over to the other side.
Yeah, the SIM card, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would do that. I would have 2 phones. And then, yeah, the days I work doubles, which is like 3 or 4 days a week, I would just use the smartphone. And then I don't really care if I veg out then, because I'm so busy working that I don't have free time anyway to run any errands or do any like working out or anything. Mm-hmm. But the other 4 days of the week or 3 days of the week, like I have a lot of free time, and that's where I'll kind of like slip into that like just complacency where I'm just laying on my couch and doom scrolling, and it's like, I could be so much more productive with my time, and there's a lot of things I could truthfully do, but it's like procrastination mixed with like just
entertainment.
It's like,
and I'll thoroughly entertain.
Exactly. And I'll just like justify it to myself. I'll be like, oh, you worked hard all week, like you deserve to just chill and like sit. And the thing is, it's like
David Goggins said, you don't deserve it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's not that I don't deserve it. It's like there's so much more I want in life, and that's keeping me from getting those things.
Yeah.
I'm being complacent when I don't need to be. Like I have the energy to work out on my days off, because I have a lot. Like today, I'm off all day and all night. Like, And so instead of scrolling on my phone, we worked out earlier, but.
Gains.
Yeah, like tomorrow could work, I have time to work out, or tonight I could like walk my dog, or during the day today I could like run a bunch of errands I've been putting off for a long time, like all those to-do list things that you constantly like put off, like that's when I'll just be, that's when not having a smartphone would be great.
Yeah.
Just have the flip phone, that way I can text and call people, they can reach me. But I'm not gonna sit there and like doom scroll, And it's okay to have social media and like look through stuff and keep up to date on things, but when you're doing it, like I keep my screen. Do you have your screen time on? Can you do that on an Android? Like it'll show you like.
I have like.
It'll show you how many hours you work a day.
Dims to like black and white. That's why.
Okay. Well, there might be a feature like this on the Android.
I think there is.
So like screen time, basically, it'll every week it'll send me on Sunday a little blurb, and it tells me like how many hours a day I was on my phone. It'll be like you averaged, and it's like crazy, bro.
I think my phone does.
Bro, it'll be like you averaged like 5 hours a day on your phone.
Yeah.
This week, and it'll tell you how much percent you're up or down for the week. So it'll show you like let's say 1 week I'm on my phone 6 hours. It'll be like you're on your phone 20% more.
Do you think phone companies are gonna just turn into like just giant advertising billboards?
Phone companies will turn into giant, like what do
they're
you mean
collecting
by that?
your data. You know what I mean? Like the product. It's like they basically are the vehicle, and they're just like allowing people to like jump into their vehicle, like to just sell us.
Yes, but I think more than phone companies, it's the social media companies. I think that the phone companies just sell you the hardware. Because like technically, like you don't have to have Instagram and Facebook and all that on your phone. I could use this as a flip phone. If I was super disciplined and like hardcore about it, I could just delete every app and that's not necessarily what I want to do, but I'm saying I could if I wanted to, and you could just essentially use this as a phone and a text machine.
Yeah.
But it's a smartphone, so why would I waste my money on that? But like I think the phone companies, they sell you the hardware.
Right.
Google's a hybrid because they have Google as well, and they sell phones too. But like I guess Apple too, right? But they don't have like a social media, like a huge social media thing going on. But I think that's who's selling us out more than anything, like is like social media companies, because they are giant advertisers. That's how like influencers make money. They get paid. For every 1 million views, they'll get paid $1,000 or whatever. It's because they can put ads on like somewhere in that reel, like when you're in your reels and stuff on Instagram and you're scrolling. Throw an ad in there real quick. Throw an ad in there, yeah.
And then those people that click on it and buy it.
Yeah. I mean, the company that makes the ad is paying Instagram for advertising.
Yeah. And then there's also like products on there as well, where it's like
for sure.
Like click this link and shop in this website type of thing. Yeah. I have a buddy that says people that buy from that are weak people. Yeah. they have no self-restraint.
Just succumbing to shit advertisements on social media. I used to think that about like do you remember like the TV things, like the buy now, like buy for $19.99.
It would go for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Infomercials.
If you call now, we'll throw in a free one.
Yes, I think people that buy that stuff, unless it's, every once in a while you see something real good on there. You'll see like some like a set of like pots and pans that's made out of copper. It's like, that's kind of cool, Yeah. It's not that dumb of a purchase. But every once in a while you see something that's like, that is dumb. Yeah. And people buy it. They have money to advertise on TV, so they're making money somehow. I don't really know how.
I suppose so. I guess you're right.
Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, I think it's more social media companies that like kind of sell people out. And I think it's kind of like a guise too, because like you would think a social media company like Facebook is a good example. Like they were founded because Mark Zuckerberg went to like Harvard or wherever he went to school. Pretty sure it was Harvard, and he like wanted to connect the students. So it started off as this thing that's kind of like, I don't know if pure is the right word, but his intentions were to like connect people, and it's like that's the positive parts of social media that we're talking about, like, and to like connect friends, and like this person is majoring in this at Harvard and this person majoring in that, and like you can kind of talk to each other, like if you're taking a class that you're not majoring in, you can like connect with people. Yeah. So that was like his intention making it, but now it's just grown into this like monstrosity of just like a data collecting company and like an advertiser.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what they do, is just advertise, and they collect data, and they sell your data too. Like they'll sell it to other companies and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy.
So I guess that's basically. So I suppose to redirect my question, do you believe that social media companies are just going to become giant billboards? That's figurative language.
Giant billboards, like, do I think that they're just going to be? I mean, they kind of are. That's kind of what they do, you know. That's where they make all their money. I think I'm pretty sure it's from advertising and collecting data. Data is the important part, because data is like the.
Well, what I mean is, like,
data caters the advertisement to you,
right?
Because they'll collect that you like fishing and you like hunting outdoors, and then they'll send you an ad for Bass Pro Shops. They're not gonna send you an ad for vegan something, you know.
Something I don't care about.
They're gonna literally, so they take that data and then they sell that to the, you know, big companies that want to advertise, and they, you know, that way, you know, because even like, let's say we started a company, right?
Right.
If me and you started a company and we were selling something, workout equipment, like we could go in and basically like. We could say that we want our ads to go to anybody that has hashtagged fitness in one of their pictures. Or we could say that we want our ad to go to, you know, specific, you know, demographics of people, like they live in this area or they have, you know, you can do that. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't started a company, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure you can do that. You can basically, you know, if you're a small company and you want to run an ad on Instagram, you can like cater that ad to people that are more likely to buy it. And the reason they have that information is because they're like collecting data and stuff. So in a way they are kind of, I don't know if I understand your question 100%, but I feel like they kind of are already, they are a billboard in a way. Like,
yeah, but like there's like a,
what do you mean by?
So you said we could start a company.
Hypothetically.
Now I'm jumping somewhere else.
Okay.
So if we hypothetically start a company to advertise for specific people about workout equipment.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that we could advertise that, but then there's also like my dad, for example, he wanted to advertise, I don't know, his business on Google or Yahoo or something, right? To like get it like moved over to like other people and clicks and so on.
Yeah.
There's like a paywall that Google has, and it's like, if you pay this much,
they'll boost your ad.
We'll throw everything right in front of everyone. The ad booster thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, can we like completely move away from that if we hypothetically had a business and we wanted to?
Could you move away from like paying for the ads and the paywall?
Yeah, the boost paywall.
Yeah. So what a lot of people do nowadays is like, especially on, apparently there's something called like TikTok Shop or TikTok Buy or something like that. Well, what a lot of people will do, like especially like these people that do like drop shipping and all that stuff, like they'll come up with a product that they're going to sell, or they'll have a product they're going to sell, and then they will film like a little like viral video with it somehow. And that's what people do now, is they'll find some way to like go viral with whatever they're selling. And they'll have a link to it in their bio, or they'll have whatever. So technically they're skirting they're not paying for the advertising. They're finding a way to go viral, and that's how they get more eyes on it. Because the whole point of advertising is you're paying so more people see it.
Yeah.
That's the point of a billboard. That's the point of an ad on a reel. But you could circumvent that by just having a viral video about the product.
I do understand the viral video bit of it, but it's like...
Yeah. So you would technically go around that paywall by just having that on social media somehow. Doesn't matter where you post it, just...
Right. Well, no, like what I mean is like under like the advertisement software, such as like Google's a search engine, and it's like there's so much ads that pop up on there as well, where it's like you're just scrolling through the weather and it's like fucking ad.
Is there a way to go around that? I don't know about that.
Like
I'm sure there is.
If you want your ad to pop up specifically on Google, do you believe that like that?
Yeah, you gotta pay, for sure.
So
that's where like social media can be good, I guess, if you're starting a business, is because you can just go viral technically.
Right.
If you know, if you know what to post, like, you know how to be funny or whatever, eye-catching.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So like, but yeah, like a Google ad or like the ads you see on like the side of a page or something, like you're paying for those. That's like, you know, I don't know if that's technically what there's something called digital real estate. I don't know if that's technically what that is or if that's like buying websites or whatever. I don't know if that's the right term to use, but yeah, you're basically buying like a digital piece you're buying like an ad on a page.
Yeah.
But if it's just part of like content on social media, then that's the cheapest way to do it, would just be to, you know, film something funny while you're using a product, and, you know, and people make a lot of money doing that if you know how to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if your dad had a company and he wanted like an ad on Google, or like another way people kind of rig the system too is like with reviews, because a lot of people buy things based off like let's say I'm looking for a service here in College Station. Like for instance, I just went to a doctor this morning. Like the way I found him was I just Googled family doctors in College Station and I picked the one that had the most reviews that was 5 stars. So there's ways that, like, you know, I'm not gonna say it's ethical, but there's ways to like boost reviews on things. Like I know people that, once again, that do drop shipping and stuff, and they'll kind of like on Amazon they'll find a way to like have a bunch of people give their product 5 stars.
Yeah.
So that way it has a bunch of reviews that are good reviews, you know. But that would be one way to boost it's not an ad, for instance, but it's a way for your search result to pop up before other people's. Because like the only other way is word of mouth. So another example would be like I had the transmission on my car fixed 4 or 5 months ago, and like I took it to a shop where it was recommended on Google. It didn't have the best reviews, but it was one of the top searches because it's a popular transmission shop, and they screwed me over, right? But then I found another transmission shop through word of mouth. A girl I work with, her husband is a parts supplier for O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and he recommended a shop here in town that does transmissions. Looked them up on Google. They were like way down on like the, you know, like when you search transmission shops, like they were down there. Like they weren't one of the top 1 or 2 or 3, and they did a great job. So it's like word of mouth is another way to advertise things. But like, yeah, it's hard, like in this new digital world, like how to
properly search for things. Because if you click on that first ad, you're gonna get like freaking. You have to be paying like $5,000 for a transmission replacement. Well,
yeah, that, and then like they might not be the best. Like they just might have the biggest budget for advertising.
Hey, there we go.
You know,
that's interesting. I don't know much about marketing or like diving into a business, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, marketing, like the goal of marketing is just to get attention on to whatever you're selling.
Yeah.
Attention is basically a currency nowadays. A lot of people say that, and it's very true. Like,
I mean, it's powerful. It's like it influences your sales and everything like that.
Yeah, going back to like the example that I was talking about, where like you make a viral piece of content with a product in it, like you're just looking for attention. Like the more people that watch it, and then that boosts the algorithm. Like the more people, it's like it like feeds into. The algorithm feeds into things that are popular.
Yeah.
So if you have a viral video, more people are going to watch it. More people are going to, like, it's super funny. They're going to share it with other people, and you have a link to that product. It's going to sell more. Mm-hmm. Like you're trying to get attention, essentially. Like attention is super, super valuable nowadays, you know. But yeah.
Huh. That's one I got to think on, man. I'm gonna try to do something with that information.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what marketing is. Like you're trying to, and it goes deeper. That there's other facets of marketing, but that is the main like probably thing about marketing is you're trying to get attention on what you're selling or like whatever a company's selling or whatever they're doing. There's a lot of ways to do that. Humor's one, so that would be making a funny viral video.
Yeah. There's
other ways. Make something that pulls on somebody's heartstrings. You know, so you're selling a dog toy, right? Like you could be like, you know. Pull on their heartstrings, be like, you know, share a story about somebody's dog passing away and it was their best friend and like
the whole story.
But what I remember is, we used to play with this dog toy every day and like it was his favorite toy and we buried him with it, and it's like, oh, like it pulls on my heart. That's another way to market. There's a million ways you could pull on. Yeah. You know, but it's about those are just ways to get the attention, you know, because somebody might watch, like, sometimes you watch a video because it's funny, sometimes you watch a video because it's means something to you, sometimes it's like, oh, I agree with that, it resonates with me. Like, you're just basically garnering attention is what marketing is, to try to sell a product.
If you were to sell a product, what product would you hypothetically sell?
I don't know, man. It's a good question.
Would you drop ship like everyone else?
No, I mean, I kind of would want to try it to see if I could do it.
Yeah, I had a buddy like talk to me about it for a while. He was like trying to get into it, and he's like, once I do it, man, I'm gonna teach you guys how to do it. It's like I get the concept. You're just buying something like on AliExpress and selling it for like, I don't know, like 70% more than you bought it for.
Yeah. I've thought about doing it. Like,
it's like you have to pick something like that. You kind of, it's like you're not using your own supply type of thing, but it's like something you support. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not to, like, I've thought about, like, every time there's an opportunity about that, I've thought about, like, oh, if I could just drop ship that'd be awesome. So anytime there's like momentum behind something, like, for instance, not to get political, but like, for instance, when the assassination attempt happened, like, dude, if you knew how to make shirts with a picture on it, and you could have made that picture, bro, you could have, and then you could have, once again, like,
downloaded it,
made it a viral video with it, and like, you know, paid for a little bit of advertising on Instagram or TikTok, and like had it go out to people that, you know, are conservative. Oh, dude, made a killing. You could have made a killing with that. Or anytime something happens, you know, like, to go the other way, like if you're a Democrat, like, and when Joe Biden was out and Kamala came in, and everybody's like trying to jump on that bandwagon now, like, if you can find a way to jump into a stream that's already like going, you know, and you can get kind of ahead of the curve before everyone's doing it, like, you could for sure make some money drop shipping. And I think you could buy shirts, like, it's pretty easy to find like a company that makes shirts, like, with whatever you want printed on them, an image or a slogan, you know. But yeah, just like getting behind, I feel like, you know, identifying a trend, or it didn't even have to be political, like, you know, you find like a meme that's viral and put on a shirt, or you know, you find a trinket or some item that it's a fad, you know, that people are into right now, and you can find a way to buy it cheap and sell it for more, you know, as long as you can cover all the prices and how much it costs to ship it and all that stuff, like, and still make a profit. I've wanted to try it because I feel like I could try it out with a couple different things, like when something's popping.
Can I ask, why haven't you? I didn't mean to.
No, that's a good question. No, that's a great question. I guess just like, you know, they're all excuses, I guess, but just like the time it takes, and that's not even the big one because I could find the time, I think, but I feel like to do the drop shipping thing, like, it would cost you some money. Like, I don't know if you have to pay for like the thing that makes labels for like the USPS. Yeah, like postal labels, and like buy all the boxes, and you do have to put some investment into it, so you are risking some money, which I'm not afraid to do. So yeah, I would do it. Yeah, just never pulled the trigger, I guess. I mean, just lack of action.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've
want to partner up in it?
Yeah, we could try it out. That'd be cool.
We got some money in our savings. We can throw some money into some drop shipping.
I don't think it costs that much to do.
I don't think it does either.
Maybe a couple, like,
my roommate,
max like $1,000-$2,000 to like.
Roommate does it. Yeah. So it's like, I don't think he spent very much.
Well, I mean, you have a camera. That's part of what it costs, you know, to make a video about something.
Yeah.
Or other than that, you would just need to, like, it depends on how you do the drop shipping, because there's ways to do it where you like buy the product up front.
Yeah.
So like, let's say
there's like the risky part where it's like buying the whole thing and then just like having to sell it. Yeah.
Like an item would be less risky because it's just an item, but like something like clothing, because it's different sizes.
I think it's a matter of like trying to create something that like celebrities, for example.
Yeah.
They can sell whatever they want, bro. People, they have people that love them. They'll buy whatever they have.
Because they already have the attention.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
no matter what they say, people are going to see it.
It's like that attention is like the key to like making money in this world. It's like, if you have people that support you in any kind of way, like, they'll support you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you can tie that into the friends conversation, is because like you want to have a lot of friends because you never know who you shake hands with that could help you and you could help them in some way.
I agree with
So
that.
like, yeah,
It's
so
very
like you have a
important.
friend that's like trying to do drop shipping. Like if he learns how to do it and he's good at it, like we can try it and we can look up all these tips online. You can learn anything online nowadays. You can YouTube it, or you can like join some online class or something that'll teach you how to drop ship. I'm sure there's a million bajillion of them. But how much better is it to have a friend you know that's successful doing it? Like he can teach you all the tips and tricks and show you how to do it. And
Or you can even start with him, and you could start selling
with
some
him.
on
Yeah.
his platform. And
exactly. Yeah.
then branch out.
So like, you know, it's so if you don't have like, you know, normal people, like we don't have a huge social media following or like anything like that, but the people we know, like it's important to make good friends and like have people that, you know, are good, that can support you and you can support them too if they need things. And yeah, like that's
I
another
think
way
that's
you can.
all it's about, dude. It's
Yeah.
like I said, it's like about building that pack that like you guys can just trust each other, and you could just like tie all your guys' ideas into one and make like one big old unit
Oh yeah.
and kill every sheep in the farm. That's what wolves do, right?
Slay them mercilessly.
Slay them mercilessly.
But yeah, and then yeah, and a big part of that too is like every person has strengths and weaknesses, and you know, like there's things I'm really good at, and there's a bunch of things I'm really bad at, and there's things you're super good at, and things
Yeah,
I'm super bad at.
absolutely.
And as you become friends, or like, you know, if you go that route and like make money with your friends, you know, you can identify like, well, I'm good at marketing, and he's good at, you know, like, or I might be good at like selling something and conveying an idea, and he, like, you might be good at filming the thing, and like, you know, making a catchy video, or making some type of like something to go, you know, something that I'm not good at.
Yeah.
And those two things. And let's say we know a third guy,
Oh,
and
like
he's good at this
collaborative.
thing. Yeah, he's good at all the computer tech stuff.
And it's like not even an issue because it's like we kind of all have the same idea where it's
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah, dude, I'll help you out.
Yeah, and then it's
I know
like,
you'll do the same for me. So it's
exactly, you're not trying to lone wolf it, because it's so hard. Like, I'm not saying you can't.
Impossible to lone wolf it.
I think you can, but I think it's the hardest way to do it. I think you can, but you're gonna go through so much struggle and suffering that is unnecessary if you just have people on your team that can help you out. It's 1,000. I'll say it's 1,000 times better to do it with a strong team. 1,000,000 times better.
I can agree with
But like,
You're
I'm not
like-
gonna say you can't lone wolf it, but it's It's literally the hardest way to do it.
that. Do you have
Other
an
than if
example
you,
of anybody who's lone wolfed it?
I mean, I'm sure there's people out. I'm just saying, I'm sure there's people out there.
Okay.
Like, yeah. I mean,
I was just curious.
yeah. I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point. I can't just name somebody that's lone wolfed it. You know, I'm sure they're out there. Nothing's coming to mind. I'm just saying. I think because I think anything's possible. Like, I think you can be successful and do it on your own, but I think it's the hardest way to do it.
I think it's
The
impossible.
hardest way.
I learned like just immediately. Like
Yeah, well, I mean, at some point you're gonna need other people for something. So therefore, I guess it's if I say, like, I don't think it's impossible in that you can't do it. I think it's
sounds like I'm trying to
impossible.
like wring it out of you, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I swear.
Well, okay.
It's just like-
I'll say it's impossible, not because it's impossible for you to do it. I think it's impossible because it's impossible without you eventually needing somebody to do like.
Because you can't learn everything in this lifetime to do everything you need to do perfectly.
No, but I think you could learn a skill by yourself, and I think you could do it to a certain extent and be moderately successful. But you're gonna hit a wall where it's like you need other people at some point. So
I think
if
to
you're
have
gonna,
a job, like a basic job, like bachelor's degree, that's how you lone wolf it.
yeah,
If
yeah,
you want
yeah.
like something bigger than just that,
Oh, it's yeah.
it turns into like you need like people who like got your back.
Yeah,
type of thing.
and we're agreeing because it's incredibly foolish to try to do it alone. If
Yeah.
you're going to be an entrepreneur, it is the dumbest thing you could do to think you could do it alone.
I agree.
But I also think, like, I guess when I say it's not impossible, I'm just saying that from a point of view of like, I think very few things in life are impossible. Like, I think you can do it. I just think it's very.
Oh, I agree.
It's the dumbest way to do it.
Like we had that talk the other night where it was like us humans have like a filter in our mind that we create since like we're babies, and it's like you basically limit yourself to your actual capabilities. I talk to my dad about this all the time where it's
Yeah.
like it's like we're only capable of 10%. One, because that's all that's running in our mind is 10%. But it's like we also like allow that to be what we're capable of to begin with is only 10% of what we can actually of our potential.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you know, I think the point you brought up the other night was like, yeah, you do something risky when you're a kid, like you bump your head on a table from like falling because you're standing on a table, and then your parents are like, don't stand on the table anymore.
Yeah.
And then it's like you have that limiting belief now. Oh, like I can't do that.
Table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean to bring his name up, but Kanye West definitely like had a whole speech about this, and it's very funny. But I'm pretty sure he said something along those lines, or he was like, "Since we're kids, like we, you know, somebody yells at us to not
Kanye
stand on
West
the table."
said
Yeah,
this?
bro.
That's fucking funny.
Bro, it's hilarious, bro. He's doing this like serious interview, and he's getting so into it, and he's talking about like how we limit ourselves and how we're capable of like unlimited potential, and we like limit ourselves because when we're kids, like, you know, you fucking stand on a table and somebody yells at you to not stand on a table. It's hilarious. It's funny.
Kanye West is hilarious, man. He's going on.
Yeah,
he's,
dude,
he's on a mission that I can't really understand, but he's on a mission.
He's like one of those people where he does some crazy shit, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And then years later, you're like, "Wow,
It worked for him.
yeah." It's like
it's like
I don't know
what?
how he got away with that, but
Yeah,
I guess he did it. You know?
it's wild.
Yeah. Definitely now he's super controversial and stuff, but
No, for sure.
he's definitely funny.
He's
Like
a funny
just
guy.
the way he is. Like
There's,
sometimes
like-
I see shit where I'm just like, what the fuck, bro?
There's like this this thing I saw on. We were just shaming it, but this thing way back when I had TikTok. It was like Kanye West and Kim Kardashian were like being interviewed,
Uh-huh.
and the interviewee was like, or the interviewer was saying to Kim like, "Is there anything you love about your house?" or something like that, and Kim was like, "Yeah, I just can't believe we don't have a jacuzzi." And then Kanye was like, "Can you believe that? We don't have a jacuzzi?" It was just like mocking her. Like he just mocked the hell out of her. Like,
In an interview to her face,
interview
bro.
to her face.
So bold, you know? Or like any of the old like unhinged Kanye tweets. Have you ever seen any of them?
No, I don't. Maybe if you point them out.
There's one where it says like I hate when I'm on the plane and they come give me a bottle of water, and then I'm like, damn, now what? I'm supposed to be responsible for this bottle?
What the hell? It's like what the fuck is he talking about?
He's saying like when you drink the water, like now you have to like throw it away. Like you're giving me this thing for free,
Yeah.
but
You
now I'm
expect me
fucking
to
responsible
throw it
for.
away.
Yeah, now I got to do something with it. Like,
I think
but it's
he's
just like, what do you?
He's
what?
just woke, bro. He's woke on another level, man. Jesus Christ gave him his hand.
Yeah, bro. It's wild, bro. He's wild. He's wild. He says the
pretty fun.
funniest stuff.
It's
though.
funny to laugh at.
Oh, you seen the Lady Gaga one where he's talking about the Polaroid? He's talking about marketing, bro. This is great. He's talking about marketing. He's like, if you can, I'm gonna try to quote this perfectly. He's like, you know, if you get somebody that has that's very popular and they have a lot of eyes on them, and they can connect an idea, if they can, you know, take a product and connect the idea, then you can sell it. And he's like, Lady Gaga, she's the head of Polaroid. I like some of the Gaga songs. What the fuck does she know about cameras?
Like, you see what I'm saying? It's just like
It's a good point, but it's like, yo, what?
so out of fucking pocket.
He says it like in an interview, bro. It's like with Apple Music interview. He's talking about Lady Gaga and selling Polaroid cameras.
I think he loves to stand out during interviews because that's
one
his
of
time to shine.
Bro, he'll just say what's like. He's one of those people where he doesn't have like inside thoughts. He doesn't have in his brain
He
thoughts.
just releases thoughts.
Because we all think shit like that. Let's be real. Like, if you're watching this, like both of us, you've had thoughts in your brain where you're like, "That's hilarious," but I'm not gonna say that because it's not
Maybe
appropriate,
a little offensive.
and offensive, and not correct in a lot of ways. And he's one of those people where, bro, it could be the craziest shit, and it's coming out, bro.
Yeah.
If it's a thought that occurs and it has any type of a point, maybe it doesn't even have a point. He, motherfucker's saying it, bro. Fearless with the words. Dude, sometimes, you know, and then sometimes I'm like, damn, bro, you know, maybe I need to be a little more fearless with my words, you know?
Point, man.
And then I get fired from my job.
Yeah. living under a bridge doing heroin.
Yeah.
Getting beat up.
Maybe I shouldn't have spoke those inside thoughts.
It's like, man, I think I'm bullying people at this point.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
That's fucking funny though. Kanye West is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, man, he's wild. He's fucking wild.
But yeah, marketing. That's it's like marketing and like friends and business ideas. It's like it all conjoins. You know what I mean? It's like if you want to be like bigger, better, stronger, you can't do it by yourself. You gotta do it with other people, as we've clearly spoken.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, agreed. Like going back to the friends thing, to tie it back to that, like it's super like. It's a good reason, or a good point is to like make sure your friend group is solid, and make sure you have people that like support you no matter what. Because like that, I mean, you can tie that into the marketing thing, but like, you know, how many times have people had an idea and like, you know, you tell somebody about it and they shoot you down? You know, they're like, oh, it's a dumb idea, or like, you know, no matter what it is, like you could say the most off the wall, like, oh, I've been thinking about doing this thing, and it's something that sounds crazy, and people will be like, oh, you can't do that, like, or you know, oh, everybody's trying to do that, or like whatever, you know. Well, instead of being like,
I think that could be kind of healthy too, like have people like
have the pushback,
not yes mans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it's helpful in a different way.
Like, it makes like strategic decisions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think it's helpful in a different way. I think it's helpful in like they're not my friend, but they're inspiring me to do it in spite of them kind of way.
I see.
Like you're telling me I can't do it. I'm talking about like having your close circle of friends. Like when you if you have an idea that's not a good idea, I think your good friends will tell you like,
that's not a good idea.
I like this part of that idea. Like, oh, I want to start a podcast about...
I see what you're saying. I guess
something...
That's kind of where I was going.
Yeah, you know, like I want to start a podcast about grass. Maybe that could be a good idea if you know a lot about grass or whatever. But like, I'm just trying to think of something like, you know what I mean? Something dumb. Like, oh, I want to start a podcast about cement. It's like, well, starting a podcast is a really good idea. Like, you know,
maybe not.
It's the way the world's going. Yeah, but like, you're also passionate about music.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Maybe I see what you're saying.
Maybe music, you know what I mean? Like having friends that'll encourage you and like give you positive feedback
in the right direction,
instead of just like I'm talking like shooting you down. Like
I see what you're saying.
Because there's like those people out there where you'll tell them like,
it's like you can't make it.
Yeah, one day I want to do this, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that's so hard, bro. Like everyone's doing that nowadays. Like, no one's gonna watch it. It's like, well, who cares if nobody watches it?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like if I make enough of them, somebody's gonna watch it.
Oh,
if I make enough of them and I put it everywhere, eventually I'm gonna like. For instance, this, like, you could take this video, you could find little segments where, like, maybe I said something insightful or you said something super insightful, and you just chop it into a little clip, put it on Instagram or whatever.
That's what I was going to think about doing.
And then link it. People will watch it.
I'm going to start, like, making reels and, like, clipping it.
Yeah. Like, because we're talking about how attention is, like, a currency, kind of. Like, attention's, like, super valuable now. But, like...
Everyone's on that fucking algorithm, man. That algorithm is, like...
People will eventually see it if you keep putting it out.
Yeah.
Like, somebody will see it, and if you say something that clicks with somebody, like, they will watch it.
It's like you were saying earlier. It's like the... like, the addiction is, like... It's not just you and I, man. It's... Everybody is fucking hooked on their phones right now.
Probably like 90% of people. I guess the only people that don't are probably like super senior citizens that have a flip phone.
Yeah, and maybe they just like scroll just
for them. They're scrolling channels, bro. They're watching TV.
They're scrolling channels.
They're watching Jeopardy and shit.
Looking for the correct news channel.
They're watching Jeopardy and fucking Golden Girls and shit. You know. But yeah, like that's. That that's something I want to bring up actually. It's a good point. Is like I don't know if you've ever seen this. Like people will say this in response to like how I'm kind of talking shit about social media. Like it'll be like there was a picture that I saw going around, and it was like a picture of like everybody on their phones, like on a subway station, like in New York.
Yeah.
And it was everybody on their phones, and then it was like. That. And then it was like 1950s, and it was everybody reading a newspaper. Yeah. And it was like saying, at the top it was like, oh, everybody just sits around on their phones nowadays. And it's like things where, basically they're trying to say that things are the same. Like people will always like find a way to get distracted by things. But it's like, I think I totally disagree with that. Because like a newspaper has an end to it.
Yeah.
A newspaper, you can read the whole newspaper in 30 minutes. Back then, people read a lot more. You could probably read it faster back then, you know? Nowadays, there's no end, bro. You can scroll. I can get on this phone and scroll for hours and will not see the same shit.
Yeah.
I'll see new shit. It'll feed me new stuff left and right. And there's so many people, like you're saying, making content. Not even content. People just film dumb things or funny videos, or people all around the world film shit on their phone and they post it on Instagram and you'll just see it, you know? And so it's like, it's never ending. It's like it's literally a black hole.
Yeah. I've always wanted to, like, I don't know. I think I understand what you're saying, though. Is like, it's like
they're trying to like equate those things. So like I brought up the TV thing. Like people that are like, there's generations, right? So like my parents' generation, like their thing was like radios and then eventually TV, right? Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure my dad had a TV his whole life. I mean, he was born in 1957. So like, you know, for most of his life, like when he was a kid and stuff, he would watch TVs. Well, he watches TV now. Like they love TV. But like that was their thing, was like you would veg out and watch the TV. Or like in the 80s and 90s, that was the big thing, was like, like, don't want to grow up and be a loser. Like, don't sit around and watch TV all day.
That's what I grew up on, is watching TV.
Yeah. And then I feel like it evolved, like the 2000s and even the 2010s was like, and people still play video games, but I feel like that was the big time for video games, was like the 2000s. And like Call of Duty was a thing, and like people were like, oh, you're just going to waste your life playing video games.
Literally
and it's
all
like,
I heard from anyone.
Yeah. And what's crazy though is like, even with video games, you can find a way if you're super, super good, and it's very rare. Well, I guess you could say the same about social media. So you can monetize it, I guess. Yeah. But now it's like social media is the thing. But I feel like it's so much more like potent, I guess, of a drug.
I mean, it's like literally like it's chemically affecting you just by scrolling nonstop, and then it burns you out into the point where it's like you start like replenishing that dopamine, and it's like, I got more to fucking spend, and you just keep going.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's just, and then that's probably that feeds into like how I was saying, like we were saying, we're gonna get flip phones and stuff.
Yeah,
like, that feeds into like you're using the dopamine, or you're like getting the dopamine from. So then you feel like less inclined to want to like go do things that are natural to build dopamine, go outside and go for a walk or go work out or whatever, right? Yeah. Like a positive way to get your dopamine. Right. Accomplish something. You know, because you're getting the dopamine when you're fucking doing the thing. Yeah. You're scrolling.
And it's like, I think it affects people in many ways. It's like for men, maybe, like I could speak for myself, where it's like you just like get no desire for an end goal. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you just kind of like forget what the fuck you're trying to do, and then it just turns into like, oh yeah, that's what I was trying to do. That's right.
Yeah, I was about to go do XYZ.
Yeah, I was about to go work out. And then it's like you're just like in the car.
Like 4 hours later. Bro, we've all been there.
Just scrolling.
I've done that too, bro. I'll get off work from HEB and have to go to my other job, and like I'll sit in my car for like 30 minutes to be scrolling. I'm like, I need to go home and get ready for work. What am I doing?
Shower, change shit.
That's so crazy that it's that powerful. Like, it will literally distract you from like real life things that you need to do, like real life responsibilities you need to do. Yeah. Like, that is crazy that it's that like.
That's why I want to get a fucking flip phone, because I understand this little piece of shit is like super important nowadays. It's super
you
powerful.
Have to have it for sure.
You can make whatever the fuck you want. I can make reels on it. I can, I don't know, record me and my family having a great time during Christmas and save it as a memory, or I can make a reel of me fucking having a great time during Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I'll bring this up, and it's been said on the internet by a bunch of gurus and stuff, but like, there's, you know, the main thing is a smartphone can be super beneficial if you're the one producing the content.
No, exactly.
If you're the one, but that's what we're saying the issue is, and we're saying the same thing, I'm pretty sure. Like,
we're gonna hold each other accountable to pursue something beneficial. Yeah. We're gonna either drop.
The first thing is the flip phone. The first thing to hold is like, we gotta eventually get a flip phone.
We gotta get a flip phone to be able to discipline ourselves into molding into what we would like to create.
Because I'll tell you my screen time every Sunday. Let's see if I can find the last one. Not to pick up my phone in the middle of this.
No, thing. Go for it. Let's see.
Okay. My last screen time 6 hours. Last week was 6 hours a day. That's what I averaged last week.
Damn, I don't even know how to check mine. I'm not even gonna try because I want to be on there like,
Where
am I?
So every week it tells me how many hours a week I average, and it varies for me between 4 and 6.
Yeah.
But then I think to myself, well, because sometimes I have a valid reason for looking at my phone, responding to a text. I'm at HEB changing a song, but like I would say probably 75% of it,
it running in the background counts as like screen time.
No.
Oh.
That is you looking at the screen.
Okay.
Screen like
counted
it
as
is
screen
your
time.
phone unlocked.
Maybe I'm thinking of the battery usage because I think there's the battery usage like thing, and it's like it shows you the hours that it uses your battery. I believe. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
There probably is a screen time feature on Android. I just don't know how to get to it.
I don't either. I haven't even tried.
I put that on because I've had this like thought for a long time where I'm like I could use that time so much more beneficial. Like, because I am a very productive person. Like, I work 2 jobs, and like I get a lot of stuff done in my personal life, but I just know I have potential for so much more. And so like by turning that number on, I'm like
that's how I am
trying to
too.
get myself to like, that's how addictive this shit is, man. Like I see it and I'm like, every week I see that number and I'm like, damn, I spent like this past week 6 hours a day screen time on my phone. Like
if you think of it as money, it's like if you had $6,000 every single time that 6 hours was on there, it's like, of course your time would be at 0, but you can get $6,000 every fucking day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think about it as like wasted time because I look at it at the end of the week. I see 6 hours a day times 7 hours. That's 42 hours of screen time. Now, I said some of that screen time is legit. Sometimes it's replying to texts. Sometimes it's like, changing a song. But like, let's say 75% of it's real. Well, that's 4.5 hours out of 6 hours. Mm-hmm. So let's say 4, right? 4 hours a day times 7 days a week. That's 28 hours a week.
Damn.
That I could use to do something more productive. I could do drop shipping, or that's just an example. I could work out more. I could fucking
learn to play the piano.
Yeah, like 28 hours a week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Times that by 52 a year. That's like 1,000, bro. That's like 1,000 hours a year. And then I think of like, yeah, it's crazy, man. I could just keep getting deeper down the rabbit hole with it. It's like, how many people do that? Like, think about how as a society, like, how many people, because that's like an average. I'm sure if you asked around, like, most people probably spend about 6 hours a day on their phone.
Oh, for sure. Maybe more. Like, I talked to my sister the other day when she was off of school. 14 hours, bro.
Yes, dude.
That's a whole fucking day.
You could get so much shit done.
That's a whole goddamn day.
And so, like,
Not to out my sister, but, like, I love you, Miranda, but it's just like...
Love you, but, it's a little excessive, huh?
But it's like, it's just like... I don't know.
That's cool.
It's just like...
But it's all of us. But that's what we're saying, though, is everybody is addicted to this shit.
It's like I'm just adding to the time that you were saying.
Yeah.
Like, all of us, every single human being...
We're all on it, bro.
We're all spending time just making money for companies.
Yeah, dude. That's where the creating it comes in. Because, like, I mean, we could sit here and try to change the world and be like, everybody get off your phone and get a flip phone. But nobody's going to do it. It's like drugs. Drugs is a great analogy because even with drugs, the whole creating versus consuming thing, like, one of the, I mean, I don't know if you know, if you're into Biggie, bro, but the whole 10 crack commandments, bro.
I don't think I've heard that.
Biggie? Well, he gives these like 10 rules of drug dealing, but one of them is don't get high on your own supply. Everybody's heard that
I've
saying,
heard that,
right?
Yeah.
Well, it's the whole content thing. It's like you're either consuming or you're producing.
Yeah.
And it's like the people that gain the most, not saying, I'm not advocating for drug dealing here, but I'm saying like you either are gaining something from it or it's like taking everything from you.
Oh, I see.
So if you're doing drugs, like it's killing you, right? And it's depleting all your money.
Yeah.
And then if you're selling them, you're probably making a bunch of money unless you're also consuming it. But that's a different story. I'm just saying there's an analogy there. It's the same with the social media. It's like I'm trying to compare social media to drugs. Like it's that addictive. And there's people that make money off of it, and those are the ones creating the content. And you can make good content. There's a lot of like I try to make my feed. I try to only like things that are constructive or positive mindset type stuff. So I try to create this feed that gives me a like good advice constantly, but it's kind of like your whole point of like action solves everything. It's like how much do you need to read? How much do you need to see positive stuff before you start doing some shit, Yeah. And so, like creating, like it's important to get on that side of the thing. And that's like, I guess you were asking me earlier, like why do you want to do a podcast with me? It's like, well, I need to create something because right now I'm just consuming.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm just consuming content. Like I ain't making no content. Back when I used to be in a band a long time ago, I play guitar and stuff, and like I used to make videos of me playing guitar. They're on YouTube.
This guy's badass.
I might, but like I used to make videos, YouTube videos of me playing guitar and stuff, and like I was creating something, you know. And then now, like I still play guitar, but I just don't create. I don't create or put anything out there, and that needs to change. So like that's probably the main reason. I didn't even think about this earlier. I was drawing a blank, but yeah, that's probably the main reason I said yes to like doing this. Is like I need to create something.
You need to be a creator instead of a consumer.
Exactly. I need to, and it boils down to your big point, which was action solves everything. Like when you're laying down in your couch scrolling on your phone, that's not an action. Like literally everything else you do is more action than that.
Yep.
Like spending that time to work out, watering the plants, cooking food for yourself, cleaning up your house and doing laundry is more action than that. Like
it all comes down to option.
Yeah.
It's like if a choice is a stronger word because option is like this over that, and it's like of course you're gonna pick the easier thing because we're all fucking lazy pieces of shit, and it's like now if you have a choice where it's like a choice just seems like a stronger word here. It's like now I have a choice to be lazy, or I have a choice to further my future.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna make the choice of furthering my future. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's crazy?
We all know what the right choice is.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what's crazy is I feel like everybody knows what to do for the most part. You know?
Yeah.
Like everybody knows what the better option is. Like if you say like you can either lay on your couch and scroll social media or you can go work out. Everybody would say, well, working out is the better option.
Yeah.
But we all choose to fucking 90% of us choose to fucking lay on our couch and scroll shit. Yeah, it's like the
I'll do it in a minute, and then it turns into like what the fuck? An hour went by.
It's like in the gym.
Too late now.
The Goggins video with the bitch voice. It's like
which one?
When I was talking about how he goes running and he's like,
yeah.
I take extra time to get out of the bed and I stare at my shoes for 30 minutes before I put them on. It's like that. It's like, you know, it's like we listen to the bitch voice in our head that's like, oh, no, you're fine. Just, you can scroll another 20 minutes. Or you know how many times I do that? Where I'll be like, okay, bro, I cannot count the times I've done this. I'll be on my couch. It'll be 9 a.m. I'll be like, okay, at 9:30, I'm going to put the phone down and I'm going to walk my dog.
David Goggins is like actually onto something. Like people think he's fucking crazy, but like he's genuinely like, he's basically like trying to dumb down like his way of thinking and like trying to get us to understand.
Yeah.
I fucking understand, bro.
Oh, yeah.
It just comes down to like he's maybe an extremist because he just straight up just fucking is all about suffering and just like, I mean, he was an ex-Navy SEAL. Like, that's all Navy SEAL. Like, training is just suffer. Like, that's all that is.
Oh, yeah. How far can you push yourself?
And I'm sure he just, like, loved that, where it turned into, like, how far can I push myself? So he just fucking kept going.
Yeah, he's, like, in a competition with himself, like, every day.
Non-stop, which is, aren't we all?
Yeah. like, I think, like, what the clip that I was talking about, like, that's one of the big points for me that I heard was, like, we all kind of have these two voices in our head.
Yeah.
Like, one is telling you to do great things and accomplish awesome stuff.
I don't feel like doing it.
And the other one is, like a bitch voice. It's telling you, like, it's okay. Like, sleep in a little more. Like, it's cool. Like, we can go do that later. Like, just, you know, chill on your phone. It's like God and the devil in your head fighting, you know?
Literally.
Like, not to sound like a crazy person, but we all have that. We all have a voice that's, like, the positive voice of reason. That's, like, do something great.
I'm vouching for you. I have it.
Everybody. I think I think everybody's got it.
I think
maybe
so
they
too.
don't. I don't know. But I think most people probably have.
I've heard there are some people that, like,
don't have an inner monologue.
Yeah, they do not have an inner monologue.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I don't know how.
I'm not sure if that's accurate, but it's like, if that's real even. Like, I heard there's some people that do not have an inner monologue. Like, those people are, I would call those people, like, primitive. Like, those are animals.
Yeah.
Those are not conscious beings.
Well, this will blow your mind even more. And I read this yesterday or the day before, and who knows? It's all on the internet, so it could be real, could be fake. But apparently they did this guy in France. He's like got a family. He's like a probably like 50-year-old male. He went to the doctor for something. He had a headache or something, and they did a scan of his brain. And literally, he had some neurodegenerative disease where his brain was like basically melting away.
Yeah.
And like 90% of his brain was basically like turned into like some type of like thick fluid, or like wasn't like actual brain matter anymore. And there was only 10% of like his brain that was still braining.
Still braining.
And
clicking and checking.
And he had a family. Like, he was a normal guy. They did an IQ test on him. His IQ was a little bit below average. It was like an 85, or it was below the range of normal. So he was a little bit like,
yeah,
you know. But he had he was a normal dude. Probably had a job and worked, and like he was just living, bruh.
Dude.
And so then it was saying that like it made scientists question like what consciousness is, and like how where consciousness is stored in your body. Yeah, because it was like, this guy's still just out here living life. Now, it could be fake. Now, I saw this on the internet, so
yeah,
feel free to fact check that.
I mean, nonetheless,
completely false, but I read it and I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Nonetheless, though, like, we are like, nobody knows what the fuck consciousness is. Like, some people believe that it's like atoms. And then there's some people that believe it's God. There's some people that believe it's like religious things, scientific things, like all these things.
Yeah,
but
it's me personally, I take the religious route. But yeah, nobody knows what it is.
Yeah.
But like, it's fascinating to think about like what makes us different than animals. Like, we know right and wrong, and like we know like good versus evil. Like, sometimes we will choose evil over good in certain scenarios. Like, some people, like evil people, you know, like dictators and stuff, they choose evil over good, and people follow along with them, and there's all this like,
let me ask you something,
morality.
Do you think like all life on this planet believes the difference between evil and good? Like animals,
like, do I think animals know the difference between good and evil?
Yeah.
I think humans are distinct in that, and I think that animals operate off of just primal instinct. For instance, like my dog, right? My dog loves me. I am my dog's best friend. Mm-hmm. Like, my dog is at home right now. I just went home.
Best thing about a dog.
Yeah, I just went home from like this morning. I went home from after the doctor, I guess 8:30. I went home from 8:30 to 9:30. So I left maybe 3 hours ago. My dog is, I can tell you exactly what he's doing. He's at my house. He's on his I have an ottoman he sits on.
Yeah.
And he is staring out the window waiting for me to come home. That is what my dog does.
Isn't that so sad to think about? That like
it is, but
their lives are so short that like that for us, like perceptually, that's like he's waiting there for hours, but it's only
But it's only a little bit of time.
It's only a little bit of time.
Yeah, and I go see my dog all the time. Like, anytime I get a break, I go home for the most part.
Yeah, not saying you neglect your dog. I'm just saying like the difference between their lifespan and our lifespan, that's like a completely different perspective.
But like, the point I was going to make with that was like my dog loves me more than anything, right? But he's still primitive and he has primal instincts. For instance, when I go to take him outside, I have to put his leash on. He hates the leash. The other day, he has never bit me in his life. And the other day, I accidentally, with the clip on the leash, I accidentally pinched him with it. And he didn't bite me, but he went to.
He was like, ah.
Yeah. He was like, went like he was going to. My dog would never hurt me in a million years. Uh-huh. But it was primal. And humans, we could see something like that. Like, we could see a human, doing something good, and maybe they accidentally mess up and hurt us. We're not going to metaphorically bite them. He didn't, but his instinct was to bite me. And I don't think a human's instinct is to hurt somebody when they see that they're doing something. Like, we can rationalize that, right?
But
I can see you try to help me, and I'm not going to go, I guess it does happen in nature, but I'm just saying, I think animals operate from a very primal place, and they don't operate based off doing good and evil. Like an animal is not going to... I don't think animals operate like we do. Like, they don't have a rational sense of good and evil. I don't think that they are us as humans. We have these crazy missions where it's like Elon Musk is trying to send people to Mars. There's no animal out there that's I have this existential mission to launch the human race into this other area.
Their intelligence is way not. You know what I mean? But I
think our human consciousness,
between choice.
That's what.
between animals having choice between good or evil, your dog did not bite you.
Yes,
it was going to, but it stopped.
I think animals know good and bad.
But do you think, like...
I think a dog is probably the closest, because, like, I've heard that, like, this is a different thing, but I've heard, like, if you die in your house, like, a lot of dogs will die next to you. They won't eat your body. And it would be a primal instinct to eat you if, like, let's say I die alone, nobody knows I'm there, and my body's just wasting away on the floor.
I just thought of a theory. You know how there's this saying where it's like you become the people you're around?
Yeah.
What if we've had dogs for so long that, like, dogs are beginning to, like connect to us?
Yeah, like their consciousness is raising.
Yeah, consciousness. You think that's possible?
Yes. In fact, I'll prove that. I'll prove your theory right. A wolf is way more primal than a dog.
Oh, well, for sure.
Yeah, so dogs have become domesticated, and in that process, I feel like they've sharpened that sense of what is good and what is bad, because we teach them what is good and what is bad.
And the cool thing about that is, too, is, like, dogs, if there is a genuine threat, some of them that are, like,
they're selfless.
Smart, they'll just put themselves in front of you,
yes.
right?
Yeah, my dog is little. My dog is 20 pounds.
And then he'll just come and hang out with you.
My dog would die for me.
Yeah, and it's like...
He's the best.
It's crazy to even think about.
I would do anything for my dog, Brad. Yeah, I think dogs are up there as far as, like...
That just blew my fucking
conscience. Mind. Yeah, I think dogs are up there as far as, like, having a conscience, for sure. But I think humans are in a league of their own.
Episode where, like, dogs become robots and, like, speak through helmets and everything.
Yeah, I think dogs are... or not dogs. I think humans are in a league of their own. I think our consciousness and our, like, morality is... Like, we can sit here and have philosophies about things, and we
stars,
can, like,
planets,
and
traveling.
we have, like, this existential thing. I think humans are different in that aspect, and that's kind of where, like, the religion stuff comes in, or, like, even, like, there's tons of people justify it with science or religion or spirituality or whatever they want to use to justify it, but I do think we're different. I did want to bring up, while you're talking about the dog thing, I have brain rot. Have you seen the meme where it's like it's two humans like this and a dog right here, and it's like the humans put their hands on each other, and it's like
and then
humans. It says humans making a pact to, or it says, hey, do you want to conquer every continent and become the master species among all civilizations? And, like, the two humans are like, yes, like, we're gonna conquer the world and discover fire and, like, create wheels and stuff. And then the dog's just kind of sitting there, and in the bottom it says, we'll let you chew on the bones. And the dog is like in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I have not seen that, though.
I'll try to find it. But
that's fucking hilarious.
My brain's dead. See, I spend too much time. I spend 6 hours a day on fucking social media, so you see shit like that.
You see shit like that.
It's like, that's actually pretty cool.
Damn.
But yeah, like, I think humans are kind of in a league of their own when it comes to that.
That's even wild to just think about, like, there's, like, so many things we can, like, try to correlate with things, and then, of course, there's, like, tests we gotta do to, like, actually see if it's, like, bottom line truth. But then again, there are theories that, like, fucking those are not even accurate to, like, because of our own like, perspective, I guess. Like, we can't fucking consciously, like, understand that quite yet. You know what I mean?
I think it's crazy. Like, this is where, like, you know, like, I think it's crazy that as humanity we go through these like science, right, is like an ever evolving thing. Like, there is no such, like, people always say, like, trust, like, you know, back when COVID was a thing, it was like, trust the science. But science is a constant process of figuring things out, and you think you have something figured out, and then you do more and more science, and then eventually you realize that's not how it is.
Obsolete.
And
becomes something else.
Like, some of my favorite thoughts to think about that kind of thing is, like, you look at, like, an ancient civilization, you look at, like, Egypt and, like, these places that were building pyramids, or they had these ways to, like,
so many theories.
They're so advanced, right? And they saw all the stars and the constellations, and the pyramids line up with these stars, and they go to this constellation and all this crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then I bet back then they thought the Earth was round, and, like, they knew all this shit, right? They probably knew the Earth was round, and they knew how the universe kind of operated a little bit, and all this crazy stuff. And then, like, over time, people were like, no, the Earth is flat. And then, like, back again, and then the 1600s came around, and you had, like, Newton or whoever it was, that Galileo or whatever
proved it.
Those scientists were like, oh, the Earth is round, and everybody was like, you're crazy, the Earth's flat. And then now everybody's like, the Earth is round. But as time goes on, now you have all these, like, flat Earth people are like, no, it's flat.
And they just, like,
it's so crazy.
themselves.
But it's just like, but it's like, what is the science? Because at one point the science said it was flat.
Yeah.
And then another point, the science said it was round. And then maybe it'll say it's flat again. And then maybe it'll say it's round again. You know, it's like, so science is a never-ending, like, science always changes. Like, we could think this is the way it is right now. This is the reason this happens.
Maybe
like,
we'll
in medicine,
never
it
get
happens.
down to it. Like, we'll never...
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not.
like, I guess, like, in our lifetime, we won't get down to it. But, like, over the span of, like, enough time, maybe we'll become intellectually...
Yeah. I think a big part of that, too, depends on, like, the rise and fall of civilizations. Because, like, you had, like, the you know, Egyptian Empire, and they were around for, like, thousands of years. So they had enough time
Their technology got destroyed with whatever
Exactly. Yeah. And then we went to, like, a dark ages, and then, like, now we're rising again.
Yeah.
We could, like, you know, World War could happen. We could plummet into another dark ages.
We gotta restart.
And then we gotta restart. It's crazy. And that's where the ebb and flow of the science comes in. Because it's like the longer you can stick around and figure things out, the more you learn. And then if it gets all wiped out, then you're starting from square one. It takes hundreds or thousands of years to figure it out.
That's crazy. We're just like in an endless fucking learning curve.
So yeah, we're on a wave, bro.
We're literally
everything's waves.
We're radio.
Everything's
waves,
vibrating. We're one of those vibrational waves, and I sound like a hippie right now. Whoa, dude, fucking, we're all just
gotta
waves,
ride the
bro.
fucking wave, bro.
Everything's vibrating. We're all just vibrations. We're just states of matter, gas, liquid, solid. It's just how far apart the atoms are. We're all just vibrating atoms. Whoa.
I can taste what my dad's eating right now.
Yo. Meatloaf.
Meatloaf with a glass of milk. Why? I don't know.
Yo.
Did you ever watch Johnny Test?
No.
No?
No.
We'll save that for another time.
No.
His dad cooked meatloaf every single day. It was like a cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Like the two sisters were like geniuses. Brother was stupid, and he was basically the test subject for the sisters.
For the sisters? Nah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna. What's the movie with Will Ferrell? Mom, where's the meatloaf?
I don't think I've seen that.
It's what movie is that, dude? He's sitting in it. He's got a kimono on, like a robe on, and he's sitting in his living room, and he's like like talking. He's like
a Western movie?
No, it's a comedy movie. It's like, it's not Step Brothers. It's one of those type of movies. It's like, Mom, where's the meatloaf?
Like
he's like being nice to his friends, and then he's like screaming at his mom and the kid. Like he still lives with his mom, and he's like wearing a robe on the couch, and he's like screaming at his mom, like, Mom, where's the meatloaf?
Oh, fuck.
It's one of those movies where it's like it's like one of those comedy, like Step Brothers or Talladega Nights. It's like one of those type of movies.
Yeah.
But I can't think of which one it is. He has a very minor role. Like they go over to his house, and he's like.
It's a comedy though.
It's a comedy, yeah.
I'll have to watch it. I like comedies.
You've probably seen it. It's like if you've seen all those type of movies, it's one of those type of movies. I just can't put my thumb on which one it is.
Yeah.
It's blown. It's.
I mean, I didn't even know Talladega of the Nights.
It might be
existed. I think I pronounced it wrong.
Is it It's not Step Brothers.
I think
I don't know.
Maybe it is Step Brothers because I remember he was like.
No, I don't think so. It's because he has a minor role in the movie. Like that's like I think that's one of his only roles. Is like he's like in his like I think it's like Wedding Crashers or like one of those movies.
Yeah,
it might be Wedding Crashers. Anyway, it's one of those movies, and he just has a very small role, and they're like at his house, and he's like telling his mom to bring him meatloaf.
That's fucking funny.
Meatloaf's just a funny food, you know? Yeah. It's just a loaf of meat with ketchup on it. Shit's fucked.
Dude, it's weird, man.
Yeah. It's
just like eating a fucking blob of sausage.
Yeah.
I honestly like meatloaf, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Like, if you're trying to pack in that protein.
I brought meatloaf up because my dad makes some killer meatloaf.
You did say your dad was eating meatloaf right now, bro.
I think I gotta go. I gotta go eat some meatloaf.
I was thinking of when I was saying whenever I start talking about how all the atoms vibrate, the different states of matter and stuff. Do you know the band Tool?
I don't think so.
There's a rock band called Tool, and they're like Tool. Yeah. They're super they're like a hard rock, heavy metal band, but they talk a lot about like drugs and like psychedelic stuff and like existential like aliens and stuff. They talk about some crazy stuff, but they have a song called Third Eye. It's all about like, you know,
Atoms
your third
and
eye. Yeah.
fucking crazy
Well,
shit.
no, it's an instrumental song for the most part, but the intro is like this. It's like an old comedy news clip.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a news clip, but it's like comedy. It's like, and in other news today, a young man in, you know, wherever they're talking about, a young man in College Station, Texas, took acid today and realized that all matter is just small atoms moving at tiny vibrational frequencies, and realized that nothing in this life matters, and yada yada yada. Anyway, here's Samantha with the weather. It's just super funny. Like, I always think about that every time I start talking about like
That's
how the
fucking
atoms
funny.
are.
I'll have to listen to that.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Third Eye.
Yeah, it's called Third Eye.
I'll listen
it's
to
like,
it.
Yeah, they're a good band. They're pretty cool.
Bet.
If you like hard rock, that kind of stuff. They have a bunch of songs on the radio. Like they're
I
they're
like
very
hard
popular.
rock for some gym sets, bro. Get a little gym set going.
Yeah, like if you turn on like the rock radio, you will hear.
When we do
song.
legs, bro, we're gonna have to listen to that fucking hard
Oh yeah,
rock.
that's what I listen. I listen to a lot of metal, rock. I listen to everything now.
There's gonna be frowns on our faces. Be like,
Shit yourself doing some squats.
shit yourself doing some squats.
God, I
I've
love
done
it.
that plenty of times.
Yeah.
Not actually like soiled myself,
but almost.
but almost.
It's been close.
Yeah. The whole gym
Tighten them
smells it.
Yeah. Oh my god. So everybody evacuates all
Ew.
the squat racks around you. That's crazy,
Guys,
bro.
please stay at least 7 feet away from me, not 6.
I need you to back up,
I
please.
need you to back it up. Beep, beep.
Call that the dump truck.
The dump.
Cause you took a dump.
Oh, and I'm backing it up.
Nice, bro.
Beep, beep. What time is it? 12:24. What time did we start?
No idea. I don't know how long we apped for, bro. I got here at 10 something. No. Yeah. We're out 10:05, I think. 10:10.
Really?
Yeah. But we didn't start for like 30 minutes or so. We can circle back to the friends thing before we
Yeah, well, you
close
just
her out. We went on a tangent, but it's
This is
good.
what I love about podcasts is like you can just like fucking just talk about whatever
Yeah.
you want. And it's like my platform, I can literally just talk about whatever I want.
Yeah.
If it gets fucking shut down, it gets shut down. I get to keep the video, so I don't really care.
We made a bunch of really good points, regardless of if we went off of the friend thing or not. But
I mean, we learn a lot from each other to begin with, so it's like maybe I learn a lot from you, but like
no, I learned a lot from you.
It's definitely an important
That's what I was saying earlier. Like,
it's an important like thing to be able to do is like just communicate
yeah, we just bounce ideas off each
on
other.
a regular basis. It's like I think learning is super important now as I'm growing up. It's like not only about friends, but like having people that are also willing to learn and like question what the fuck you're even talking about. Like one, it feels good to like be questioned because it's like,
Oh yeah,
oh, I'm wrong, and then you research what you're wrong about, and then you fucking jump back into it, and you're like, hey, I told you some bullshit.
remember that whole story I told you about the whole thing?
Remember?
It was all wrong.
It was all yellow. Anyway.
Start singing Coldplay. It's crazy, bro. Yeah, like
Friends.
yeah, friends. So like that, you know, with social media, tying it into social media and friends and stuff, like I think it's a thing in our world today. Like it's harder now with technology around to make friends, to make good friends. Like, you know.
Yeah. I mean that's what I
can't-
was trying to get at is with the like the people like not really being themselves and they got to put up this
Yeah.
front for like one, social media, and two, for themselves to survive.
Exactly.
It's like you don't meet like legitimate people, if that makes sense. Like you just meet like a bunch of frauds and then like they waste your time by you're like, oh, that guy is a fucking fraud.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I thought we had a lot in common, but turns out we have nothing in common.
We have nothing in common.
Yeah, there's that. Like, I mean, and then you were we had a conversation earlier where you were talking about dating and like just going up to people, like especially us as guys, like just approaching women and stuff. But like even
I
like
can't do that, bro.
I
cannot do that. I'm so bad at it.
You got it, bro. I believe in you. Just anytime you're gonna go up to a chick, if I'm around, just come up to me first. I'll hype you up, dude. I'll be your hype man.
Maybe I'll talk to you first.
You got this, bro. I'll just turn on some sick jams.
This is what I'm about to say, okay?
Just like, you got this, bro. You're gonna go in there. You're gonna kill it. You're gonna get the phone number. But like even with the approaching girl, like even approaching like it's gonna sound a little gay for a minute, but like even approaching like dudes to be friends and stuff. Like I feel like we live in such a. It is, yeah, it's easier, but I feel like even in this day and age, like, I guess it's harder to build, like, the connection of being a friend with somebody nowadays.
I think it's because people are not willing to put themselves out there. They're just all so attentive to just fucking consuming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've tried with so many people, like, hey, you want to go out?
Go hang out.
Want to go to the gym?
What do they tell you?
It's usually like, yeah, we go, and then it just never happens again. I just keep reminding them, I'm just like, yo, let's go, you want to go? And they're just like, not tonight, bro.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, I know what kind of person you are. And then I just stop talking to them.
I think my flaw is that I need to be more outgoing with that, because I feel like I don't even ask people to hang out sometimes. Like I'll just figure that I'm so busy with stuff that I just don't. And then
that's how you find people's like true like their integrity, like if they're fucking exactly what they say they are.
Yeah. Like and the thing is with me, like if somebody comes and asks me, like you asked me like if I want to start working out and stuff, and I was like, yes, and I will go do it. But my thing is I'm bad about approaching other people and being like, hey, we should go do this activity.
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't know why. Like what's crazy is I will ask girls like for their number or like to go on a date or whatever, but like it's almost like I'm comfortable going up to dudes and like being friends with them and having a conversation, but it's hard for me to get to be like, hey, you want to go like kick it at, you want to go to the gym, or you want to go do XYZ, or you want to, whatever. Like I don't know why that is. I don't know. I think like I was telling you when we had that first conversation, like I kind of get deep in my head about becoming friends with somebody, because a lot of being in my early 30s, like a lot of the friends I've had for a really long time. Mm-hmm. So like it's hard when you have friends like that. It's almost hard to make new friends sometimes, because you like put this burden on yourself of like finding somebody that's like those friends.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like that. Like you got to like hang out with somebody to get to know them. Like, so you're not just going to start off being friends with them like that, But like that's one thing I need to get better at, I guess, is like being more on the inviting people side. Because when people invite me to do things, I'll pretty much always say yes, unless it's like somebody like you said, unless somebody I don't want to hang out with, like unless it's like somebody like, if they're just like, hey, like let's go drink, and I'm not really a big drinker, and that's all they really do is like go out to bars and drink, or if they're like, hey, let's just chill at my house and watch the game this weekend, and that's all they really do, then it's like. I
mean, I honestly have friends that drink a lot, but it's like I just like I don't drink. And it's just like
and you can go hang out with them for sure. I'm just saying, like,
was that lightning?
Possibly. There was thunder a second ago. But yeah, like
there it is.
Oh,
there it is.
Yeah, I know.
Thought I saw it. I hope that's
real.
On camera, bro. That'd be so cool.
Hell yeah.
I wanna clip it. Be like, God has spoken. He's in this podcast.
Nice. He was like, good point.
Yeah. He's like, you're speaking facts.
Facts. Yeah, like that. I mean, that's one thing that like plagues me for sure, is like being more outgoing. Like, I feel like I'm not as outgoing as I am a pretty outgoing person, but I need to be better about like inviting people to go do things. And like I said, like if somebody invites me, like me and you, we have a lot of similarities. Like we agree on a lot of things, and like we have the same outlook on a lot of stuff. So like that's why we get along pretty well. And it's like, another thing I guess is it's finding those kind of people. Like that's another struggle for most people out there. I think
it's rare.
Yeah, it's finding people that are
commonly rare. Like it's like.
Yeah, and you might find people like going to the actions thing again. Like you might find people that say that they want certain things and say that they're about like, oh, I want to do this. Or, I need to go to the gym. A big one is going to the gym. A lot of people be like, I need to start hitting the gym, and then like,
then you try to
might
encourage
invite them to the gym. Yeah, you're like, let's go to the gym, and they're like, oh, I can't today. I've got to, walk my goldfish or something. Literally. That's not real, They come with a fake thing to do.
I can't, bro.
Yeah, so it's like
I gotta feed my turtles.
Yeah, but then like especially like I mean I can't speak for women, but I would say like for men like in our world today like with like masculinity and stuff like we need to have those friendships like that's one thing like in my life I can speak for myself like you were saying like we're always better when we work with other people like I feel like a lot of dudes nowadays like don't have a solid group like not even a solid group of friends but just people they can go to.
Dude, this is gonna sound strange, but I feel like your best comes out of you with like real friends, like people like real friends. You know what I mean? Like
1000%.
You can have a fucking girlfriend, she'll do the same thing, but it's like realistically, like we all know what girls do, bro. They'll fucking leave. They'll fucking come back. They'll just starve you of all your fucking energy.
yeah, a lot of times.
But your homies, bro, you could just sit down, fucking sit in the rain, lightning, and it's like,
yeah,
I could go to bed and not fucking have to think about what the hell the conversation we just had because I'm so fucking confused. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're not like, yeah, because we're just bros, you know.
Yeah, or it's like, like even if we disagree, it could be like,
well, yeah,
we'll fucking make it right through like.
Yeah, you could say it's X and I could say it's Y, and like you know, we might just. The thing is, we can agree to disagree. Cool. Yeah, we can just be like, well, that's the way you think, and this is the way I think.
Like
so.
You believe in God, and
yeah.
I don't really believe in much. It's just like
exactly.
I'm just kind of chilling.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like neither of us are gonna. Well, yeah, and then there's the whole theory of like, because like you know, you could try to get me to think that there's not a God and like this is all pointless, or I could like sit here and try to like preach to you somehow, you know?
Yeah.
And there's like the whole I forgot what it's called, but it's like it's a theory that basically states like if you have a very strong held belief and the more somebody tries to convince you of the opposite, you will hold more firm to what you believe.
Yeah.
So like let's say I was trying to preach to you about God and stuff and you were, you know.
I mean, I like hearing about it because it's
of course,
like,
yeah. And if somebody wants to hear about it, like I'll tell them about it, you know. But like for me to like sit here and you're being like, nah, I don't want to hear about it, and I'm like, no, you need to hear this. Like, and the more I try to shove something down your throat, the more you are going to you're going to hold more to your position.
Yeah.
It's like some like argumentative like principle or something.
And then it just turns into like
yeah, if I think the sky is green and I'm dead set that the sky is green and no matter how much you try to show me that it's blue, I will go out of my way to figure out I will go out of my way to tell you it's green.
Yeah.
Like I will believe that even more. It's like when somebody tries to sell you something and you're like, I don't want it, and then the salesman's like, no, for real, you need to buy it. That the more you're gonna be like, I'm not buying this, dude. The more, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. There's some principle that states that.
I do know what you're saying.
But as men, we can agree to disagree. I feel like it's sometimes when you argue with a chick, it's kind of
maybe that's the point I was trying to get is like men can agree to disagree.
Sometimes with a chick, it's just
arguing with a chick, it's like there's no disagreement, bro. It's either you agree with them or you fucking
it's a fight.
Run away.
Or we're fighting forever.
We're fighting,
we're fighting forever. It's all good.
The best relationship ever, dude. We're fighting fucking.
We're fighting until we die.
The stars align.
Till death do us part. We're gonna be fighting, bro. They don't finish the rest of the quote when they do their vows. It's till death do us part. We're gonna be fucking brawling. Verbally.
There's a bug in her face before we kiss, bro. It's fucking over. I best walk my happy ass out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like with masculinity nowadays, like I feel like a lot of dudes are there's a lot of lonely guys out there. Like I can speak for myself. I was that way for like years. Like I have good friends, but I don't see them that often because like I said, I'm older. Like most of my friends are married, have kids and shit. And like I love my friends. Like I have a best friend I've known my entire life. And like we still hang out probably once a month or, you know, sometimes twice a month, sometimes every other month, and we pick, you know, nothing gets in the way of our friendship, but at the same time, like, you know, I'm super busy, I work 2 jobs, he's super busy, he has a family, he has kids, and so it's like, you know, you get in this place where it's like, when you're older, it's harder. You feel like it's harder to make friends, and it's not. It's like a psychological thing you trick yourself of. It's like, oh,
it's like I'm filtering thing.
Yeah, like I'm old. Like, you know, again, you're like, I have my small group of friends, and we do this and that, and it's like, you know, you can always make more friends. You can always have new connections. You should always be seeking out to like meet new people, like, and get new friends, and if you're, you know, your team for instance, like you should always be trying to build your team of people around you that you have.
That's what it is. It's a team.
Yeah, and
it's
sometimes I feel like nowadays, like we forget that, like a lot of dudes don't have that. Like a lot of dudes will just
a brotherhood. Like it's not like
a brotherhood. Yeah,
it's like that's what it is, bro. It's like a brotherhood. It's like it's people that you can just like fucking stay connected with, and it's like nothing bad will ever happen. Like such as like fucking them just running off. You know what I mean? It's like they'll always have your back. I always have their back. And it's just like that's just how it is. We fucking cover each other's.
If you need something or if you have a problem, you can go to them and they won't judge you.
Yeah.
And like, you have that like that understanding with them.
Absolutely.
Like I feel like I feel like the crazy thing is I feel like there's a lot of good dudes out there that like want that. Like I've felt that way in the past where I've wanted that, and like I don't necessarily have a brotherhood, but it's like I guess what I'm saying is I feel like there's a lot of guys out there that have good qualities and like want to have that brotherhood with other people, but like I don't know what it is that gets in the way of them. Like for me, I don't know what gets in the way of me going up to people and be like, hey, you want to hang out? Or like, I guess in my mind I've convinced myself that maybe I'm just too busy, or like I have too much stuff going on. But the thing with friends is it shouldn't be that way. Like, even if you are super busy and like I can only maybe hang out once or twice a week, like I'm still down to hang out once or twice a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like,
I mean, like even if like I've learned this the hard way. Like when I'm actually pulling this out of a past experience. It's like when you're boys, and it's like you each are in a relationship. It's like, I mean, I personally like, in my experience, like, I guess like we kind of just like slowly just kind of grew apart. But it's like now when I see it, it's like now I understand how that shit works, bro. It's like the girl's not everything. It's like my brotherhood is everything, because it's like that will fucking further me into a fucking super awesome future. And then also like a woman can do that. Like then like that's like the benefit, because like you can have kids, you can have a family, you can have a beautiful fucking house. Like like she'll fucking make it super fun. Such a glorious house during Christmas. I love Christmas. Like,
and what's crazy is like
that's how I envision my future.
Yeah, this kind of goes into like I guess a dating kind of thing, but like what you're saying, I guess this is kind of like putting it into like a perspective that I see, like, because I did that a lot when I was younger and I was dating, like when I was your age, when I was 22, 10 years ago when I was your age, like I did that a lot. Like I was very guilty of that. Like I would get a girlfriend and like I would kind of push my friends to the side. Like I wouldn't completely shut them out. Like I would still hang out with my friends, but definitely like I would make the girl like my girlfriend would be like my priority. I would prioritize them over my friends. Yeah, and it should be the other way. You're right. It should be like you have your friends and like she is with you and she's coming into your life.
Called bros before hoes.
You're not like yeah. I mean, to put it very Chad-like. Yeah. Yes. It is.
I mean it in a kinder way. I respect it.
Yeah, and of course you're gonna eventually one day meet a girl and she'll become your wife and all that stuff. And then she will, you and your wife and your family will be the priority. But I don't think you should ever lose touch of the people you're friends with. And like, that's where I go back to like how I said I've had a lot of the really close friends that I'm like I have a few really really close friends. Like I have a few friends that I've been friends with for years and years, like decades even. Like and so like our friendship will never cease. And like I know all of their wives or girlfriends, like, and we're friends too. So then that makes it to where it's like, if my friend's like, hey, Andrew's free this weekend, can he come stay with us? Like the wife or girlfriend's not gonna be like, oh no, like they want to hang out with me. The best example is my best friend that I've known my entire life. Like it's kind of crazy how this happens too, is like we see so much eye to eye, and like me and him are so much alike. Like the first time I met his girlfriend at the time, it's his wife now, like I knew they were gonna get married. Like I was like, this chick's cool, bro. Like that's the one for you. Like that is your one, bro. And they've been together like 12 years now, I think. They have 2 kids, like, and that's what's crazy is it's like, that's what I'm, I guess, trying to say is like, we've been friends the whole time. Like, so at no point, like, I guess he's a good role model for me because like, you know, he's never like pushed away all of his friends. Like our friend group that we have, like I'm not as close with the other people in our friend group as I am with him. Obviously, I've known him my whole life, but like they all were here in College Station. That friend group, I've known him before that, but like he never pushed all his friends away. You know, like she kind of like they were together, and she kind of came into his friend group, and they had a friend group together. Like they were one in the friend group. It wasn't like she was like coming to hang out with me and my friends. It was like she was one of the friends, if that makes sense. Yeah. In a way. And now obviously like there's times where like dudes need to do dude shit and like, you know, work out or like build a business or build something, you know. But it's like as far as like the position of everybody in the group, like you know, he didn't like push away all of his friends. And I like, that's what I'm saying. When I was younger, I was bad about that. Now I don't do that. Like now my friends like definitely come first, you know. Like now when I date girls, like we'll hang out with my best friend and his wife, and like it's important for me for her, whoever I date, to get along with them. Yeah. Because they're not going anywhere.
Seeing them a lot.
They're not going anywhere.
Right.
He's gonna be in my wedding. Yeah. Like I was in his wedding. Like we're best friends for life. We've been best friends our whole life. We're gonna be best friends. Our kids are gonna be friends.
And that's how it's gonna be.
Our moms were friends. We're friends. It's a generational thing, you know.
Generational friendship.
Yeah, and so it's like it is like that. So it's like it's important to, and you live. I feel like as a guy, you live and you learn. Like you said, you went through that. Like I feel like we all go through that because you wanna like. You want to love a girl and like make her your world, you know? Yeah. But it's like, I mean, it's a recipe for disaster, because I don't think girls truly want that. I don't think so girls want a guy that's like all about them.
I don't think so either.
They want a guy that's, you know, a man that's doing man shit, you know, and that loves them and that loves only them and is with them. But I think that they want a man. They don't want a man. They don't want somebody that's like obsessed with them and like, yeah, it's just, yeah, you know what I mean. They don't want a guy that's like, oh, it's all, I'll do whatever you want to do, like whatever you say, you call this.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
you
ma'am.
know? Yeah, girls don't want that shit, you know. So it's like you live and you learn, though.
Oh, for sure.
Because I feel like every guy has done that.
Yeah.
Every guy's had to have been through that shit, you know.
It's like one of my buddies calls them practice girls, bro. We all need practice girls.
It's a very blunt way of saying it, I guess.
That's how he says it, but like the way
you just learn lessons from every
the way
person
it is,
you've been with,
like,
but I guess you could refer to it as a practice because it didn't work out, you know.
I don't really care.
It's funny though. But yeah, like. Yeah, man, like having a brotherhood's important. Like having that is important. And there's ways to like, for people out there, like this is one thing I can get better at. I think everybody can get better at. If anybody's watching this and you're like, where do I meet a solid group of friends? Like you need to have hobbies or things that do a few things that, one, better yourself, hobby that betters yourself. So it could be, like you said, jujitsu, going to the gym, shooting guns. You could be cars. It could be anything that makes you strive for more. And that, two, there are other people that are like-minded that are there.
It's like something we talked about the other time. Is like you got to do things that make you feel like you fucking suck at it.
Yeah. And you got to start. Yeah, you got to start somewhere, and then eventually you might get good at it. You know what I mean? But yeah.
And if you can do it with others, then you can like be a humble, good friend. Because then your ego is not in the way, and you're not like fucking like, did you just say something about my girl?
Yeah.
You know, and like it's just like that's just out of the water. Like you turn into like a fucking genuine being.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, like getting your ego out of the way, because I feel like that's also a big part of men not wanting to be friends with each other. Is like
they think they're better than them.
Yeah, we kind of do this thing as men where we like size people up. Yeah, we do. It's natural, but at the same time, you need a team of people. So like, you have to have friends. Like you got to have a brotherhood, and so. Yeah, I think that's a good way of like meeting people and like doing stuff. And I need to be better at that myself. Like picking up hobbies where people have the same mindset as you, you know? Like if you're into like cars is a good one that I just thought of. Like if you're into cars, it's going to cause, if you want to have a nice car, you're going to work harder. You're going to strive for a goal. You probably have a dream car, or you have a dream number of cars you want, and you want this car and that car. Yeah. So maybe let's say you start working hard and you buy your first car that's kind of nice, you know, you buy like, you know, I don't know, a Mercedes or a Lexus or BMW, whatever you get, something nice that's, you know, and a way you could do that is go to car meets. Like, you go to car meets, you'll meet people there. Like, you will find people there.
I have a friend who's gotten into that. He's like,
does he have a group of friends?
Yeah, he met one of the actors that that's in the Happy Madison the films.
No way.
I forgot his name. He's like, he was one of the like the Hispanic looking guys in what's the iconic like Adam Sandler movie with like
Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy.
The one where they take their kids on vacation.
I know what you're talking about. Something Dads
something Dads.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, fuck, dude. Where is it?
It's where they all go on vacation, and it's the dads with the kids. Yeah, they go to like summer camp or whatever.
Anyways, it's one of those actors like you know how like they record all as a group. He met one of them at a car meet, and I was like, dude, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's like one example, finding a hobby, because like that's another thing that'll keep you like alone and isolated is not having a hobby. Like we talked about this in the car the other day. Like, how many people out there like either don't have like a goal that they strive for or like a hobby that they're into? Like, in our world today with social media and just consuming things constantly and not taking action, all the stuff we've talked about, like I feel like that's like an epidemic. Like, there's a lot of people in the world that just don't. Like, think about, like, if you've ever done this, if you ever ask somebody, you know, you're getting to know somebody and you're like, so, like, what do you do for fun? Mm-hmm. And they'll just give you, like, the most just boring answers. Like, they don't have anything. Yeah, they'll be like, oh, I play video games and, you know, I like watching movies. And it's like, yeah, but what do you do? Like what do you do, though? Like, do you play an instrument? Do you like work out? Like, working out is something even, you know? Like, working out, do you work out? Do you like cars? Do you like guns? Do you like, I mean, as a dude, these are dude things, obviously. Do you like, it could be art, it could be painting pictures, like, doesn't have to be super masculine shit, you know?
Yeah.
Do you like painting pictures? Do you like writing music? Do you like writing anything? Something. You got to do something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and there's a lot of people that don't have that. So that would be one thing. If you're struggling to make good quality friends, I would say get a hobby that makes you a better person. And you will find people that are on that same path as you. And like you were saying, like, you got to start somewhere. So you might start at the bottom of the totem pole, but you're going to meet people within that hobby that are everywhere in the spectrum. Mm-hmm. You'll meet people that are worse off than you. You'll meet people that are way better than you. You'll meet people kind of in the middle, and you can kind of like, you know, you'll build a brotherhood, and you'll kind of all lift each other up. And if it's the right kind of place, if you're surrounded by the right people, everyone will want you to succeed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, people will want you to do better.
Like, and you got people behind you fucking helping you succeed at that point.
And then the beautiful thing, you gain that experience and you get better at that thing. And then you get to a point where then you can help people up, you know?
Yeah.
And that's super, like, fulfilling in life and, like, gratifying is, like...
For sure.
Lifting other people up and, like, helping other people with things that you've struggled with or things that you've gone through.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, everybody needs that at any stage in their life, no matter how old you are. Like, you know, like, even when you're old, you need people that have been through the things you've been through at that age, you know. You can even learn from people, you can learn from people at any, you know, you can learn people that are underneath you, you can learn how not to be, or you can learn how, if somebody's younger than you, like, for me, a big thing is, like, I need to remember to be youthful a lot of times. Like, I put myself in this mindset of, I'm getting old now, like, oh, I can't go do this, right? You know, I'm not going to go do that, or, like, it's hard, you know, I just said it on this podcast, like, it's hard for me to make friends. Like, I need to get that out of my brain. Like, that's a self-limiting belief, you know? So I need to get that out of my brain. And, like, by hanging out with people younger than me, it helps me to do that. Because it keeps me in a younger mind. Like, you are the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
You know, not saying I need to surround myself with all all people that are 10 years younger than me. I'm just saying, like,
it's just like
I need to remain youthful.
Your horizon a little bit.
Yeah, you need to, having a youthful mind frame can be beneficial in a lot of ways.
That's why I like hanging out with older people, is because older people, like, they're like they're fucking wise, dude. Like, it's like they have wisdom that I'm saving time on, if that makes sense. Yeah. And it's like, and then two, we can help each other out. It's
exactly. And, like, that's an important thing when you're getting older, is to not think of young people as, like, oh, well, I know more than them because I'm older than them. Yeah. I don't think like that at all. Like, in fact, I need to be around younger people because, like, you know what's hip. Like, especially going into business, market. Well, I'm saying, like, marketing, we're talking about business. Like, if I don't know what's popular, like, how am I going to market to people that are that age?
I thought you meant hip, like
No, hip. They're cool. They're hip. They're in.
No, I understand what
That's
hip
an old
means,
word, bro.
But that was a hard one. I had to fucking dictionary that one.
Yeah, bro, being hip, bro.
Being hip.
That's a thing.
I thought you meant it like
That's what all the cool kids
like
do.
what the like cool kids are like dressing up as, like what's fucking cool style.
That's what I mean, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm saying like if you don't know what's in, if you don't know what's fashionable right now, if not even fashion, I'm saying like if you don't know like what's popular, like that'll help you in everything. It'll help you relate to people that are younger. It'll help you, like, let's say I'm selling a product, like
Yeah.
who consumes the most stuff?
Oh, I see what you're
Young
saying.
people consume so much shit.
It's like helping you understand.
yeah, if I'm in a market on TikTok, I don't even have
The
it.
younger
I'm too old to
market.
have it. Yeah, I don't want to have a TikTok. I'm too old for that shit. But if
Yeah.
I wanted to grow a business, I would immediately get a TikTok.
Yeah.
And I would immediately start posting stuff on there.
'Cause
So I would need to know how to
definitely-
relate to them.
Definitely agree, like different generations can relate to their own generation. Like my
Yeah.
father, he's like, I remember when we were growing up, he was like everyone in his age owns houses, right? They're old, they got kids. Like my dad's not that old, but like they have kids, they have houses, they're living their dreams, right? And he was like, when I was growing up, he told me, man, just go out and have fun, break shit. Like people like love to see you hanging out. Actually, you know what? Ask this guy to mow their lawn. He'll fucking pay you way more than it's even worth because he'll love to just see you out on the lawn. It's just like
Nice.
and it's like he was right. Like we did mow a lawn together, and it's like I got paid way more than it was even worth, and I was just like,
Nice.
so he has a point. He has
Yeah.
a point.
Yeah.
I never did it again though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can learn stuff from every generation for sure.
Yeah.
Like, people, and you can learn from people older than you, people younger than you. Like, you can learn stuff from people that are seniors, people that are kids. Like, you can learn all types of stuff. Like, you can learn to,
I think the senior advice, I think it's like way beyond like my like understanding as of right now, because like when I like sure there are some like seniors that like will talk to you and they'll say like sweet things like, oh, the best advice I can give you is just love the people you are around, like things
Yeah.
like that or something like that.
That's sound advice.
And it's just like
But you're
just
saying
like
it's just so, like, old people advice?
yeah, but then there's like some advice that they give you, and it's just like, what the fuck is he talking about? Where it's like, I don't know, like I think I don't really even remember it because I like couldn't understand it. It was basically like telling me like something about like the best way to like fucking do something is like, and then he gave me like a whole scheme of like how to do it, and then I was just like I was like pretty young, so I was just like listening, had no idea what he was talking about, and it was just like
Yeah.
like you know what I mean though. Like I think there's definitely like there's definitely I don't know how to explain it. There's the simple shit that you understand, which is like emotionally based, right? Where it's like if you're ever down, grandma told me love the people you're around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
And then it's like there's like the complex like advice they try to tell you where it's like you hear them but you just don't quite like there's a difference between hearing and understanding. Like when you understand, like it's in your brain and you know how to fucking put in the work. Like you know how to like make it happen.
Yeah.
You know how to like make this understanding fucking bring fruits in. You know what I mean?
I think what old people do really well when they give advice, like if you've ever seen like the top 5 people on their deathbed say that they wish they would have done, and it's like, I wish I would have
Regrets.
Yeah.
I
I wish I would have worked less.
That's
or
what I understand.
I wish I would have asked that girl out, or I wish. But one thing that I love about those pieces of advice is they sound so simple, but like a lot of times we forget that shit,
Yeah.
Like they just bring it back to the basic stuff. It's like how we were talking about earlier. Like we know what we need to do. Like in life, like you know the right thing. You have
Yeah.
the good voice and the bad voice, and you know the right thing to do. And it's like I feel like a lot of their advice is them basically trying to communicate that they would have listened to the good voice more. Like all those deathbed regrets are like, I wish I would have worked less. Like maybe they had that voice in their head that was telling them like, you should go try to open your own business, and they were just like, no, I'll just play it safe with the job I have. And they just kept working hard at their job thinking they were going to make it, and they just kind of lived an average life.
That's a good way to think about it.
Or like, you know, they were like
things like that. Like
I wish I would have, you know, I'm trying to think of the other deathbed regrets they have. It's usually stuff like that.
Extracted that out of what you just said. Like, you know what I mean? Like things like that. Like they portray good intentions, of course. Like it's fucking and very informative, but it's like I can't extract exactly what they're like trying to say.
Yeah, I think
because maybe I'm like so fucking like young and like trying to.
I see what you're saying, and I feel like their advice is more broad and like basic. It's more of like a foundation. Like when old people like that, when super old people give you advice, it's more foundational. It's more like the basics about life. Like they're bringing it back to like how to just be a happy person, like love your neighbor as yourself type thing. Like just the basic advice you hear all the time. But a lot of people forget a lot of that stuff. And you're like, I get what you're saying. Like it's not as practical. Like somebody that's like 32, like if you're like, hey, how do I do this? I can give you like I just went through that 10 years ago. It's super fresh in my mind. So I did this, and I can do it this way, and it works like this, and it's yada, yada, yada. Because we grew up in a similar enough generation to where there's similarities.
Yeah.
Like dating advice, for instance, right? Like I was talking about the handkerchief earlier, like where back in the 50s and 40s, a girl would drop a handkerchief, and it was like a super obvious sign, like, I'm into you.
Yeah.
And it's like, them giving you dating advice probably is not good. It's not very practical for a 80-year-old man to give you dating advice because things were different back then. There was like super chivalry, you know, and like women were all about like who was the nicest to them. And I met this nice guy,
and those girls still hold that. So it's like that's what they're still together type of thing.
Exactly. So like now things are different. Yeah. The scene is different. We don't even meet people the same. We meet them all online and shit. So it's like
we don't even know if they're fucking real at this point.
Yeah. So it's like, so a lot of their advice for that stuff isn't as practical, but the basic like life tenets remain the same. Like the whole like just love other people and like, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Just like, live off of like your like, positive.
You know, positive take chances and you know they tell you that kind of thing. Like all those deathbed regrets are kind of like take chances in life. Like don't be afraid to go. Don't hold back, and don't be afraid to go try new things. And I wish I would have done this thing, and I wish I would have done that thing. And it's like it's very basic, like foundational life advice. Whereas like something you could learn from somebody closer to your age is more practical in like when it comes to something specific you're going through. Like I'm going through this exact like scenario, and it's like
they obviously can't answer that because it's like the generation is just like way beyond like what I'm even experiencing compared to like similar something he can experience.
Yeah. And then
or she.
A crazy thought I just had is it's kind of like an arc, right? It's kind of like an arc because I was saying you can learn stuff from super old people. You can also learn stuff from kids, right? Like sometimes I think about it, like you'll see a kid and they just get excited about like I'll hang out with my best friend, his wife, and their kids, right? Well, they're a little too young for this. But you'll see some, like, little kid that's, like, 4, and you'll tell them, like, hey, we're going to go get ice cream. And they get fucking stoked about the smallest things in life. And it reminds, like, to me, I think deeply about shit. So I'll be like, man, like, I wish I was excited about the small things in life as that kid is about ice cream. Like, damn, like, sometimes I, like, take things for granted in life, and I'm not as excited. So it's like this, like, almost like a bell curve. Like, the advice you get from, like... You can take it. It's not advice, but it's just like watching how somebody is, I guess.
It's like you kind of
on the spectrums. Yeah, like an old person, they can give you like foundational life advice, like they're telling you what they regretted, and then you're learning like gratitude from people that are super young. You're like, oh, like the simple things, the small things in life can make you so happy if you just let them.
Yeah.
And then when you get into the bell curve, it's like the people in the middle, they can give you more like detailed advice about things. Like they can give you like, you know.
Dude, that's fucking wild. Kids can give you advice, whether you think about it or not.
Well, because that's what I was saying is like a lot of people that get older, like they don't want to listen to somebody younger. They're like, I know more than you. It's like, no, like we forget things. Like we forget simple things. And not only do we forget stuff, people younger than us know more than us sometimes.
Yeah.
There's like little kids, there's like 16-year-olds that like graduate with master's degrees now, you know? Like they just somehow go to college super young. I don't even know how that shit works, but they'll just somehow get into college at like as a teenager and like get through school.
How that works.
And they're just super fucking smart. They know more than me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you can learn stuff from anybody, any age, if you allow it.
Yeah.
You can always learn something from someone, somehow.
That's wild. I mean, that's true. Like, realistically, it's like, what else do I have to lose to not learn?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fucking dying?
Well,
oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's the like that's the thing with the ego, like that you brought up. Like our ego gets in the way so much. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because we'll be like, oh, like I don't need to listen to him. He's a whatever.
And it's like I don't want to like hate on the people that like ego is a good thing. It keeps us alive. It keeps us safe. It keeps us like honorable, if that makes sense, to an extent. But then there's also like the aspects of it where it's like in the fucking way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like
it's hindering you.
It's like you got your ego and then you got your fucking positive and negative thoughts, and like then it's like your ego just makes your thoughts like make you want to fucking feel higher up in the arc than you really are.
Yeah, big time.
Basically, you gotta just get punched in the fucking face. It's like when you get punched in the face, you're just like, I am nothing.
Yeah.
Like somebody could just fucking walk up to me and just start stabbing me.
Yeah.
It's fucking brutal, but it's like realistically like that could happen. Or somebody could just fucking steal all my shit and I have nothing. I have to restart. Somebody steals fucking fries all my bank accounts. I have nothing. Yeah. You know, like we're all vulnerable to the same things. Like it makes us no different than makes me no different than you. Makes me no different than like any of you guys. It's just like we're all living the same fucking life.
Yeah. There's a like one of my I told you when we had that conversation like a couple weeks ago or last week. Like I'm big into like Stoic philosophy and like Stoicism and stuff.
Oh, I love that
and, like,
shit.
One of my like Marcus Aurelius is like one of my favorite fucking people, right? And there's a story about him because he was like the emperor of Rome in like the 1st century AD, like way back when, and like he. Like one of the stories about him is like he is the emperor of Rome, like the top dog in the world at that time. You know what I mean? Leader of the world, essentially. And apparently, like I don't know if it's been proved that he had this or not, but apparently he had like a slave that followed him around, and all this slave would do would whisper in his ear all the time, "You're just a man. You're just a man. You're just a man."
That's really what
just
we
to
need.
remind him, like, you're just like everybody else. Like when you make decisions about things that infect the entire Roman Empire, like you're just a man. Like you're not better than anybody. Like you're not worse than anybody. Like we're all in this together type thing. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, that was, you know, and that's an extreme, obviously, to have somebody follow you around and tell you you're just a man, to avoid ego getting in the way. But I mean, it's like that's how big of a problem ego is. Like, think about how easily you could let ego. I mean, there's tons of Roman emperors there was like 5 good Roman emperors, 5 bad Roman emperors. There's like a story about those and shit. But it's like, how easy can you let ego get in the way? And like, especially when you're the ruler of a country. Yeah. Like, we're just normal people. Imagine if we had like power and stuff. It's like you got to really control your ego.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, you can even see it with like people that are like just in middle management, like people that are managers at jobs. Like sometimes they will just take that to the extreme. Like they will just exert their power, their authority at any means because they have an ego. Yeah, it's all ego. That's ego drives all that.
What's up, dude? I have pizza in the fridge. You can have really? Some. Yeah.
Should have known. It's all good.
Man, we'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, like but like you said, it's also an important like driver. Like you want to have an ego. Yeah. Like I've heard this said by people, but it's like you want to have an ego, like you want to have a big ego, but you want to work so hard that you can justify it. Right. So like you want to have some form of an ego where you're like, yeah, you know, I am really.
Like you're feeding the ego, but to the point where it's like it's allowing you to like be yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like where you said like it gets in you don't want it to be in your own way. You want it to kind of push you, like to be better.
It's like you want it to like I said, it's a good thing, but it's just a matter of like using it to your advantage. It's like all ego for a man, I suppose. I don't know about any other gender, but it's like. What it does is
let's get canceled. There's only 2, brother.
I know. I thought that would bring out a little laugh if I said that. I'm not gonna lie. Hell yeah. I thought about it. I was like, I'm gonna say it. Nice. Anyways,
so, I thought about it first. I was like, I'm gonna say it.
Be honest. But yeah, like it's like you were saying, like you use it to push yourself. So it's like you use it, like you're basically using like the fucking like the short-term suffering for the long-term like success, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or what is that saying where it's like
you it's like a short-term you don't want to do short-term gratification, you want to like delay gratification.
Yeah.
I don't know I know what you're getting at.
absolutely.
Like you're sacrificing short-term pleasures for long-term benefit or goals or whatever.
And insecurity like is like from ego, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
actually let's separate the two. Like ego can ego basically controls what you want to be in control of, and then but like insecurity is also just like fucking, it can have like attributes where it's like you hear things and it's like it has an effect of like you don't have control of it, so it's like, oh, now you feel fucking shitty about it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, for me personally, it's like I didn't really like the way I looked for a while, right? So it's like I'm gonna go to the gym. That has an effect on my appearance. And one, the side effect is you fucking feel great. And then two, it's like, it's not really about where you're going with it. It's just a matter of like doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you go to the gym and you want to be big, you're doing it as a career. If you want to be a fucking businessman and you want to make millions, you're doing it as a career. If you want to fucking work at HEB and fucking go be fucking the biggest manager you can, you're doing it as a career. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you look at something and you find the destination, you're doing it as a career, because you will fucking find that destination if you continue to fucking seek it. You know what I mean? So if you just go into something and you basically don't look for any outcome, you just enjoy the fucking moment that you're doing it in.
Say it, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, say it. You want to say it, but you're not saying it.
You gotta enjoy the journey, not the destination, brother.
Yeah. You wanted to say it, so you had to get it out at some point.
I was trying to like break it down as much as I possibly could.
like the ego thing, like you almost want to think in your head like no matter what you do, right? You want to like part of ego would be like, I'm going to be the best at this. So like having a massive ego would be like, I'm the best, whatever. Like we work at HEB, we stock groceries. Like, but even that, right? Like because there's a saying I love, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you want to be the, like if you go in and you're like I'm going to be the best, that very rarely, that can have a bad effect if you're saying that to other people and you're like, oh, I'm the best, and like, la la la. That's like ego being a bad thing. But it can be a good thing is if, like, for instance, when I first started at HEB, I was one of the slowest people on the whole crew. Yeah. And we would like race each other. And so the way we started it off was like we basically had everybody randomly fill out sheets and rank everybody that was going to race. Yeah. And it was just how fast you thought other people were. And so like everybody got ranked, and then from there you would race the person next to you, and whoever won you would flip, right? Mm-hmm. So that way you could like work your way up. Yeah. So I put myself like middle of the pack. Like I was still the new guy, but I wasn't that slow. Yeah. But everybody put me last, bro. I was the slowest person. Wow. And I was like that set off my ego, because I was like, no, fuck that. I'm not slow, and I'm gonna show all you I'm not fucking slow. And it's taken years and years and years. It took a couple years, but I eventually became the fastest person. Yeah. I was like, no, I'm gonna be the fastest. Fuck all you guys. I'm the fastest. So then eventually, took a long time, but because I believed that I was fast, because I had that piece of my ego, I wasn't over the top about it. I wasn't egotistical like, oh, you guys suck and I'm the best. Yeah. That's ego being bad. It pushed me in a way where it was like, no, like I'm better than that. Like you guys don't know anything. I'm going to be the best. Right. I'm going to be the best. And then I became the best, you know. And now I've worked there for longer than everybody else, just for context for everybody watching this. Like I worked there for way too long. I shouldn't work there anymore. I've been there way too long. I wasted my life away. No, I'm just playing. It's a great job. I love working there. Shout out HEB. Shout out HEB. Love you guys. That's why I haven't quit, just because it is a great job. So I'm just joking. But my point with the ego thing is like, is have an ego and then work hard to justify it. So like, say, you know, I'm gonna be great at this, and then become great at it over time.
Yeah.
And it is the journey, because it's going to be a journey. You're not just going to wake up one day and be the best. Like, you're
Yeah.
going to work every day and incrementally, like I was saying with the race thing, you're going to incrementally work your way up to being the best. And it might take so long.
Right.
But you have to just be cool with that, and you can't give up on that thought of, like, you can't let the insecurity creep in and go, well, maybe I'm not gonna be the best. Like, and very rarely in life, like, does trying to be the best at something, unless it's something detrimental, like, is that a bad thing? Like, you should always want to be the best at whatever you do. Even if you're a janitor and you clean toilets, like, if you become the best at it, that will never be a bad thing.
No, absolutely.
Like
what you're doing is you're fucking like training yourself to be the best in everything you do.
Yeah.
So it's like you're basically like you're jumping the fucking top of the leaderboard at that point.
Yeah.
Not because of your numbers, but because you want to be the best at everything you do.
Yeah.
So it's like one person will be the best at fucking this tonight, and then I don't know, a few years from now he's fucking just the worst because he's just given up and he doesn't want to be good at anything.
Yeah. Like, I love using that saying that I said a minute ago. How you do anything is how you do everything.
I need you to say it again.
How you do anything is how you do everything. Like, a good example is one of the guys I work with. He's very, like, I trained him to be very organized, and I tried to explain to him that being organized can help you be so much faster. But, like, he's one of those people where I taught him this stuff, and, like, he got better at it. And then now he then kind of plateaued, and then now he's kind of slipping back into his old ways, where a lot of stuff's disorganized. So when he stacks boxes up a certain way, there's no method or madness to it. He's kind of just throwing them, and they're all disorganized, and they're all over the place.
He's getting too caught up in the destination.
Yeah, he's too worried about going fast and not worried about being organized, which in turn would help him go faster.
Yeah.
And so, I tried to give him this analogy, the way he puts his trash down, like, this sounds like such minute details, but like the way he puts like the boxes he breaks down, they're not in like a neat pile, they're all over the place. Then when he tries to grab them, they're falling all over it. It takes more time. It's not as, like, he can't, instead of making something that would take one trip because it's nice and organized and neat, he has to take 2 or 3, and now it's burning time on the back end. Instead, like, he tried to save time on the front end by just being messy and going faster, but on the back end he's wasting time, so it ends up burning more time. So I try to tell him this. I was like, think about this. And I was like, I'm not saying this about you, and I'm not saying this about your house, but I'm saying, like, if somebody is disorganized you see them, doing a job, and everything they do is like sloppy. It's all over the place. Like, they're super messy. They leave trash everywhere. Like, they're not organized at all, and everything's just kind of a pigsty. How much would you bet that if you went to their house, it would look the same way? Or, like, how much would you bet if you got in their car, there would just be stuff all over their car? Like, probably pretty likely, right? Like, because how they do how they keep it, I think Jordan Peterson's kind of went into some of this stuff. If you listen or read any of his stuff,
I like him.
Yeah, he talks about cleaning your room. Like, if you need to, like, get your life together, start by cleaning your room.
Yeah.
Because if you can organize the space that you live and you sleep, like, it will give you, it's kind of like, there's a super famous speech where a Navy SEAL is saying the first thing he does in the morning is makes his bed.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
I have.
Yeah. So you start off your morning by accomplishing something, and it gives you that, like, I did it action. Like, you did an action and you feel good about it because when you come home tonight, you're going to have a nice made bed to lay in. It's that kind of thing. Like, like, having organized stuff, and, like, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're super organized, neat person, typically everything in your life will probably be organized. You will probably have a pretty organized life.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't even have to be organized. I keep using that as an example, but it could be anything. If you're a hardworking person at a job, if I try to start a business outside of work, I'm probably gonna work hard on it.
Yeah.
Like, the qualities that you exude, like, you're gonna do them in everything. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So I like that.
I like that. The way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Yeah.
That's
Very simple.
That's a great quote to end this episode on. I forgot what the fucking...
Friendship.
Oh, yeah, friendship.